All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Uncle Larry returns next hour. Looking forward to that. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Oh, by the way, it's a hump day. Yeah, my bad. Sorry about that. Wasn't even thinking about it. My bad.
It's hump day.
Screwed it up.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Figured out one thing out of place can get you all out of rhythm.
Hump day.
Paulie's on vacay for the rest of the week.
It's hump day.
Danny's hanging out.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Poor guy.
Hump day.
Had to come in here in the morning.
It's hump day.
Has to come back here and listen to me.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Danny had to have dinner with me last week also.
Hump day.
Danny, how unfortunate was that for you?
It's hump day.
Danny doesn't have a mic.
Danny's mic doesn't work.
Yeah, it's still broken. Yeah.
You mean to tell me
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
that his mic is still broken?
Hump day.
Yeah, that's what I said.
It's hump day.
We're in a radio studio,
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
and the microphone doesn't work.
Hump day.
That's what you're telling me.
Correct, yes.
It's hump day.
Is there any other mic input or jack that works such that we could run a cord to get it to Danny?
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Does this one work?
Yeah, I mean, we could probably do that. Sure, yeah.
Do we have a really long mic cord?
That I don't know.
Hump day.
Danny, do you know if we have a mic cord? You can just nod. We don't have one, or you don't know? He doesn't know. Okay.
It's hump day.
Well, we're off to a rip-roaring start.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Much like the entire New Orleans Saints season.
Hump day.
All right. Uncle Larry next hour. And Jake Madison will join us in hour number 3. Taylor Calandro later this hour. The Calandro's Rare Whiskey Raffle is tomorrow. Huge fundraiser that they do every year. Funds benefiting for Kids Foundation and St. Lillian Academy, something very near and dear to my heart. That's Drew's school. So it's a school serving special needs kiddos in our area. So we're super grateful to Calandro's for making them one of the beneficiaries, then also to all of you who go buy tickets. So get by either Calandro's location. Tomorrow, 3 o'clock Central is the cutoff to buy your tickets. You have to buy your tickets at Calandro's, either location in Baton Rouge. Okay. So the LSU season, of course, regular season came to an end on Saturday night in the Georgia Dome there in Atlanta. And so subsequent, we knew that with this week, with the transfer portal opening and everything, we would start to get all of these declarations about guys entering the draft or entering the transfer portal, or whatever the case may be. Monday, we got great news with Kayshon Boutte announcing that he was returning to LSU. Yesterday, the not too surprising news that Jack Best was jumping in the transfer portal. We also learned, obviously, Tuesday that Demarius McGee was entering the transfer portal. And today, the latest declaration that we got comes from defensive back Jay Ward, who put on all of his social media that he is entering the NFL draft. This should not come as a great surprise. Remember, Jay Ward did go through the senior day festivities against UAB. So Ward, who signed with LSU in 2019, had an extra year because of COVID. He could have come back and been a super senior next year, but he played 4 years in Baton Rouge and now has decided he's going to go on and begin his NFL journey, and we wish him certainly all the luck there. The other really bit of really good news for Jay Ward is that he has also accepted an invite to participate in the Reese's Senior Bowl. So congrats to Jay Ward on that, who is he's really been a pretty terrific player. Muse, jump in real quick here. I mentioned Muse and Hanny were hosted Eagle 98.1 Game Day all year, and part of Eagle 98.1 Game Day, Muse interviewed Jim Nagy, who's the executive director of the Senior Bowl. We talked about this, I think, when Ali Gay accepted his Senior Bowl invite. Did you all talk about Jay Ward?
A lot.
Yeah?
Yeah, they really like Jay Ward. He was actually featured on their social media a couple different times as well, Matt, as like they do a Senior Bowl player of the week or a Senior Bowl matchup to watch. Multiple times he was the player of the week and the matchup to watch. So they are really, really high on Jay Ward.
Yeah, I'm excited for Jay Ward. He's a guy, when he came to LSU back in the 2019 season as a 4-star. And that was, of course, the national championship season. And he's a guy that's sort of ridden the ebbs and the flows. He came in 2019 and probably won a national championship. Played in 13 games that year. Actually saw extensive extensive playing time against Oklahoma because LSU hung 63 on Oklahoma. He got to play a lot. It was primarily a special team guy and a backup guy. But in that season when LSU blew everybody out, he got to play a good bit. And then in 2020, he really he had such a knack for making enormous plays. Most notably was the juggling interception on the sideline against Florida where it dinked and doinked and was tipped 5 times, and he came up with the pick. That was, of course, the fall game that LSU won. But remember, Jay Ward blocked a field goal in the Arkansas game. That was the game that LSU narrowly won when Finley threw the late touchdown pass in that rain up in Fayetteville. I mean, Ward blocked a field goal in that game. Against Ole Miss, he had 2 interceptions, including a pick 6. That was the game in the driving rainstorm, the regular season finale. So, boy, he, as a sophomore, developed this real knack for big plays, and we were really excited about Jay Ward, as a cornerback moving forward. But because of, sort of out of necessity, in 2021, remember 2020, Ricks came in as a freshman. Stingley battled injury in 2020, so he didn't play a ton. And you saw McLaughlin emerge late in that year as well. But Ward in 2021 moved to safety kind of out of necessity with some injuries and some defections. So we were really excited about seeing him stay in that sort of nickel role. He moved back to safety in 2021 because the team needed him to, which is where he played primarily this year as well. So as a pro prospect, Jay Ward is really intriguing because he can play corner, he can play nickel, he can play dime, he can play safety. He's so versatile in the secondary at 6'2", 190 pounds that anybody who drafts him can put him almost anywhere in that secondary, and that he can also play special teams. So just think about, just for example, the Saints this year with all of the injuries they've had, with Lattimore being injured and Roby being injured. Lante Taylor was injured at the start of the season. Paulson Adebo had the knee injury. So you were looking for guys that could play anywhere. That could be a nickel, that could play outside, that could drop back and play safety, play dime. And Ward is that guy, and he's going to be such a valuable piece for whatever team drafts him. So congrats to Jay Ward. He's declared for the draft. He's going to play in the Senior Bowl. The other really good piece of information for LSU, and I believe Jacques Doucet is the first to report this, Jay Ward said he will play in the bowl game. So he's declared for the draft, but Jay Ward will play in the Citrus Bowl against Purdue, which is great news for LSU. But it also brings up the point about the secondary and how LSU looks ahead to the secondary in that spot for 2023. So you're losing Joe Fouché, who's a super senior, and now you're losing Jay Ward. Of course, those are just among your safeties. Remember, Greg Brooks can come back as a super senior. Major Burns will return. Sage Ryan, who has played nickel for you, likely returns. Derek Davis will return. Remember, they redshirted him this year, but he played running back against UAB. And Brian Kelly even said, man, they should have moved him running back sooner. Does Derek Davis play next year at safety, or does he move to the offensive side? That remains to be seen. And then, of course, you signed Jordan Allen as a cornerback in this last year's class, but you moved him to safety. So you're losing Fouché and Ward. You might get Greg Brooks back. We'll see. But you'll have Burns and Ryan and Allen. And then freshmen coming in this class. And you're also waiting on decisions at corner as well. Remember, not only can Greg Brooks come back as a super senior, but Sevin Banks has the option to return as well for another year. Mekhi Garner has the option to return for a 6th season. Mistakenly, I've been calling Mekhi Garner a super senior. He's not. He's got another year. He played in 2018 in JUCO, and he played in 2019, but only 2 games. So that actually counted as a redshirt year in 2019. And then everybody got the free year for COVID. So he played in 2021 at ULL and this year at LSU. So really, he just played the JUCO year, a redshirt year, the COVID year. So neither of those count. Then the last 2 years at LSU, ULL. So he's got 1 more year. So Mekhi Gardner has to make a decision as well. Either way, LSU is going to have to go really push hard for some of the more prominent cornerback and defensive back recruits in the country to see if someone could come in immediately and play as a freshman. But the other part of that is you're going to have to hammer the portal, but you're waiting on these decisions as well. Do you get Banks and Brooks and Garner back? If you do, along with Ryan and Burns and Allen, and then the other guys like LaTerrence Welch, who redshirted this year, now you've built some depth there. But really, with experience, really, it's so critical to see if these guys will return. Because if you don't get Sevin Banks and Greg Brooks and Mekhi Garner back, now you're like in DEFCON 5 going into this offseason. You've got to just go hammer the portal. You're in essentially the exact same situation you were a year ago with respect to your secondary. So congrats to Jay Ward. He's declared for the draft, and no doubt will be a stay healthy and have a really long and prosperous pro career. All right, it's after further review. Hump Day shows are brought to you by Pluckers. We're glad to have you aboard with us here. Nicholson, Bluebonnet, Dining, Carryout, or Delivery. Let me knock out a quick break. We'll come back. You know you can always join us. Calls, texts, emails, tweets, lots of ways that you can get involved in the show. Taylor Calandro in about 30 minutes. So if you got booze questions, get them in. Remember, tomorrow evening is the Calandro's Rare Whiskey Raffle. So get to either Calandro's location and buy your tickets before 3 o'clock tomorrow. Let me knock out a break. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit about Mark Ingram. Looks like his season and potentially his career in New Orleans are over. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Pluckers, Nicholson, Bluebonnet, Dine-In, Carryout, or Delivery. 28 flavors of award-winning jumbo chicken wings, ice-cold draft beer, full-service bar, sports on TV. It's Pluckers tonight and every Wednesday, of course. Trivia at both Pluckers locations. 7:30 at the Bluebonnet location. 8 o'clock at the Nicholson location. This is live action trivia. You can have as many players on your team as you want. And remember, every team gets to spin the prize wheel. So even if you don't win a round, no worries. Even if you don't win a round, everyone gets to win something because everyone gets to spin the prize wheel to win gift cards or Pluckers food or other great prizes. It's all there. By the way, tonight's trivia is themed. It is a holiday movie trivia. How you feeling about that, Muse? Holiday movie trivia. We got a couple we got some for you later, Muse. Y'all are going to want to be here in hour number 3 as we pepper Muse with these holiday movie trivia questions. Or you can just go participate tonight at Pluckers. Nicholson, Bluebonnet, Dine-In, Carryout, or Delivery. Pluckers, you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Louisiana. It's a place defined by culture, by pride, by passion, by people who do more than love this place. They celebrate it, elevate it, champion it. They are the individuals who embody what makes Louisiana great. The companies that make Louisiana a better place to work and live. The nonprofits leading transformational change in our communities. Champions of Louisiana are all around us, and LWCC is proud to celebrate them because we've always been Louisiana loyal, supporting the workers, the innovators, the change agents of this great place we call home. Who are the champions around you? Together, we can share their stories. Together, we can help our home state thrive. Together, we are Louisiana loyal. Always.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
So on Sunday, after the the bowl announcements were made, both Jeff Brom and Brian Kelly were on a conference call to preview the bowl game. Interestingly enough, LSU opened to about a 6.5 point favorite, something like that.
Thought it was 5, but yeah, in that range.
Yeah, okay, 5, right around there. Yeah, and look, then man, golly, we see Scott Satterfield leaving Louisville for Cincinnati. We know that Jeff Brom is one of the greatest players in Louisville history. He's actually in their Ring of Honor. Several years ago, 6 years ago, as a matter of fact, when Satterfield was hired, it was 2018. 2018 when Satterfield was hired? Yeah, 4 years ago. So in 2018, when Satterfield was hired, Louisville did pursue Brom, who was only a couple of years into his tenure at Purdue at the time, and said, no, I'm going to stay put. So he passed on his alma mater, wanted to stay at Purdue, did. And then on Monday, Brom had a press conference. He was asked point blank, if he'd had contact with Louisville.
I know you've been busy this morning, but has Louisville tried to contact you at all or tried to reach out to you this morning?
No, there's been no contact.
Breaking news, as it were, breaking news. Yeah, breaking news. Well, that escalated quickly, in the words of the great Ron Burgundy. From Monday, having no contact whatsoever. Was that what he said? No contact whatsoever? Was that exactly the quote? Can I hear it again?
No, there's been no contact.
No contact. Okay, there's been no contact. Okay. So Monday, no contact. Wednesday, 11:13 a.m. Central Time, ESPN tweets, Jeff Brom is returning home as the Louisville head football coach. These things do happen quickly. I do understand and can appreciate that maybe on Monday there hadn't been contact. I'm not sure that I completely believe that. I would believe that maybe not directly with Brom, but through his representatives, a lot of times how that goes. But Jeff Brom is returning home to Louisville to become the head coach of the Cardinals. He returned to his alma mater. He'd been an assistant there prior. The only reason that this is super relevant here is because LSU is going to play Purdue in the Citrus Bowl, and now Purdue doesn't have a head coach. That it's strange how that can go sometimes. Sometimes you get a bump, right? Sometimes you have that sort of interim bump that we talk about, but usually that's associated with the coach being fired, not with the coach leaving his program for another job, which is the case here with Brom leaving Purdue. For whatever it's worth, that point spread has jumped now to 10. LSU's now a 10-point favorite over Purdue in the Citrus Bowl, and depending on some of these announcements that may come, we'll see if that climbs even higher. Aiden O'Connell is the 6-year senior quarterback of Purdue. Has he made an announcement if he plans to play yet? Have you seen? I don't know that he's made an announcement that he plans to play. He has not?
No, I haven't seen anything from him.
I haven't seen an announcement from O'Connell, but at this point, you're 6 years in your career. I don't know why he wouldn't play in the game for Purdue, but something worth watching, and that could certainly affect it. From the LSU perspective, we'll obviously be keeping an eye on Jaden Daniels' decision, whether or not he's turning pro, if he'll play in this game, if he plans to return. What does that mean for Nussmeier? All of that will play a gigantic role in how all this transpires. But that's a significant wrinkle for the Citrus Bowl now with LSU playing Purdue, where Purdue's head coach Jeff Brom has announced he's leaving and returning to Louisville and presumably will not coach Purdue there in the bowl game. All right, it is After Further Review. We're brought to you by GMFS Mortgage, gmfsmortgage.com. Changing lives since 1999, home buy, refi, construction loans. They do it all at GMFS Mortgage. I know a lot of people look and say, man, but rates are going up. It's not a great time to buy. Not exactly. There are so many different loan products that GMFS Mortgage offers that they can always help you. GMFSmortgage.com. Go to the website, hit the loan officers tab right there at the top of the page, and find a local loan officer near you. Let the experts at GMFS Mortgage help find the best loan option for you. And sometimes that could even be, you say you don't have enough money for down payment. Sometimes you can find a zero money down loan. GMFS Mortgage can do that. Learn more. GMFSmortgage.com. GMFS Mortgage. Changing lives. One of the most brutal moments of the Saints' loss on Monday Night Football was the play with about 6 minutes to go in the ball game where Mark Ingram caught a little screen pass in the right flat and almost inexplicably just scampered out of bounds about a half a yard short of the sticks. Listen, if you were here, I eviscerated Mark Ingram yesterday, and he deserves it. And not just for this play, but this play as an illustration of, in my opinion, what Mark Ingram has been his entire career, which is a losing player. Again, I want to be clear. I'm not calling Mark Ingram a loser. I think he's a good guy. I personally think Mark Ingram is a good man. I think he's a good person, apparently a good father. He's overcome a lot with his father, Mark Ingram Sr., going to prison. A lot of things. He's been good in the community. I'm just talking about specifically from a football standpoint, and some of that is out of his control because Mark Ingram was a guy who was taken in round 1, and the Saints traded back into round 1. So essentially they used 2 picks, a 1 and a 2, to take Mark Ingram, and in my opinion, he has never lived up to that, and the Saints have not gotten a requisite return on that investment for Mark Ingram. They did not pick up his 5th-year option as a first-round draft pick that they used two draft selections on. So I went through all of that yesterday. And then this news came out today from me and Rappaport and others. Mark Ingram apparently suffered a slight tear of his MCL in the loss to the Bucs. That likely ends his season, as Ian Rappaport notes. He's out 4 to 6 weeks, no surgery, and with the regular season being only 5 more weeks, Ingram is most certainly done for the year. So if Mark Ingram at 32 years old with a torn MCL is done for the next 4 to 6 weeks, meaning he's likely done for the remainder of the season, being that he is a free agent after this season, he is very likely done in New Orleans. It is hard to imagine a scenario where the New Orleans Saints would bring back a 33-year-old Mark Ingram who, with declining productivity and what it would cost to have a veteran, even at a veteran minimum, on your roster, the Saints most certainly would try to get younger at that spot. Mark Ingram will likely see his time in New Orleans done. And I want to be very clear. There are probably those of you, I would assume, who are going to look at that and say, man, you're crushing a guy with a torn MCL. I don't care. You've seen the play as well as I have. And even after the game, Mark Ingram went to Twitter and apologized to his teammates and the fans. His tweet read, I'm sick about this one. Regardless of circumstances or how I feel, I have to get that fresh set of downs for the squad. I apologize to my teammates, my coaches, my city for a crucial mistake. We work way too hard and sacrifice blood, sweat, and tears. I will be better. And I believe he's genuine, but that's just who Mark Ingram's been throughout his career. And I'll remind you, we watched Byron Leftwich play on a bum ankle where his linemen were literally carrying him down the field. We saw Phillip Rivers play an AFC championship game with a torn ACL. J.J. Watt once played a game with 5 torn core muscles on the defensive line. Miles Brennan played a half of football at Missouri with a torn abdomen. Hell, Jameis Winston earlier this year played with 4 broken vertebrae and a torn foot ligament. So we've seen dudes play with injury. All I needed from Mark Ingram was a half a yard, and he acknowledged it. He acknowledges it. He should have gotten the half yard. If he did, the Saints probably win that game. Because if nothing else, you bleed Tampa's timeouts and probably burn, and if not, you burn a couple of minutes off the clock, and Tampa's not going to have enough time to come back and win the game in that scenario as they did. Get the half a yard. So if Mark Ingram's time in New Orleans is in fact done, and that ends up being the last play of his in the black and gold, what an inglorious end to his tenure in New Orleans. All right, it's after further review. I'm glad to have you aboard with us here. If you're on YouTube, do us a favor, smash that like button. We appreciate you for watching along. Also, as always, to those watching on WBTR, thank you. If you're not familiar, announced this just a few weeks ago, a WBTR in Baton Rouge, it's Cable 19, Rev 144. If you're a cord cutter and have the antenna that's 36.1, you now have another option to watch AFR every afternoon from 3 to 6. So we're so grateful to our news partners at WBTR. BRZ Television for giving us and all of you that option to watch the show. So thanks so much. Okay, it's after further review. We'll knock out a quick break. We'll go around the SEC in about 15 minutes from right now. Taylor Calandro's here for a little Bourbon Dictionary. Get your booze questions in. That's all coming up on AFR.
AFR.
Get Gordon and get it done. Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. If you've been injured in an accident and it's not your fault, get Gordon and get it done. That's Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. We always talk about the charitable arm of Gordon's law firm, Gordon Gives. And through that charitable arm, of course, Gordon has made such an impact, not only with the 500 bike giveaway during the holiday season, and of course, all of the NIL deals that Gordon has done to help support collegiate athletes throughout the state of Louisiana, primarily, of course, in the purple and gold, but all throughout the state of Louisiana. You can see a full list of all of the Get Gordon athletes there at getgordon.com or any of the social media. Just follow them on social media at Get Gordon. You know what to do. If you've been injured in an accident, you need an attorney, get Gordon and get it done. You can call them anywhere in the state, 888-8888. That's 888-8888, or online at getgordon.com. That's getgordon.com for Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. You know what to do. Get Gordon and get it done.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $11,000 off MSRP plus 2.9% with 72 months on all new 2022 Ram Black Widow trucks in stock. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
It's no secret, the best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
We did mention that Jeff Brom has left Purdue to become the Louisville head coach. He's headed back to his alma mater. So one big question now is, what does the Purdue staff look like in the Citrus Bowl against LSU? Tom Dienert took a stab at that on The Ride with JMV on 107.5 The Fan there in Indiana.
But I'll tell you what, John, first matter of business for Purdue is getting to this bowl game, because I was talking to some people on staff today, and a lot of these coaches are leaving ASAP for Derby City, my friend. Last guy out of the Kozich football complex, turn out the lights.
Like what numbers are we talking about here?
Yeah, I think most of the offensive staff is going now. I think it's going to go. I think I reported moments ago Brian Brom is going to stay and be the interim head coach. Remember, he was the interim head coach in 2020 in that season opener when Jeff Brom had COVID. So Brian's going to be the interim head coach. He's going to stick around. I think a couple defensive staffers, man. I think Ron English is going to go. I think Mark Hagan may stay for the bowl game. So, yeah, again, it's going to be interesting to see what this staff looks like in 24 or 48 hours.
That's pretty incredible. So it's not just like you're losing Brom, but a lot of those guys are getting out of town. Listen, Brom I'm quite certain many of you don't care to do a deep dive into Purdue football. But there is a glass ceiling there in West Lafayette. The amount of player, the caliber and depth of player you're able to get in West Lafayette. When Drew Brees was there during that 2000 season, his final season when they went to the Rose Bowl and played Washington in that great game, if you remember the season. That's about the best you can hope for at a place like Purdue. And look, the Big Ten West is atrocious. You can go 8-4 and win the Big Ten West, which they did this year, and then have the right to go get annihilated by the best team out of the East, usually Ohio State or Michigan, which they did. And that's about the extent of it. So, you go to Louisville, which is I'm not going to necessarily say it's a step up as a program from Purdue, but it is an opportunity in the ACC to be in a league that's inherently more winnable, and you're also home. I mean, Brom is from Louisville. He was a high school star at Louisville, or in the state of Louisville, or in the city of Louisville, then went to the University of Louisville, and he's in the Ring of Honor there and coached there prior. So a lot of that makes sense. It just leaves Purdue in a very vulnerable spot. When you flip that on its head, it really opens the door for a great opportunity for LSU. We've, over the years, and I'm sure as we get closer to this Citrus Bowl game, we'll talk about it further, but there's always the conversation about the bowl bump, when teams do really well in the bowl game and then use that as sort of a springboard into the next year. And sometimes that's valid. I think the example that we always use is probably 2010. LSU, they lost to Arkansas in the regular season finale, but then went to the Cotton Bowl and played Texas A&M, played really well that day, and carried that into 2011, where, of course, they had the undefeated season before losing the national championship game, as we know. But then, man, you could look at a lot of us thought 2015. 2015 was the great regular season that really hit the road bump against Alabama, where Fournette got stonewalled, and LSU ended up losing to Arkansas and Ole Miss as well. But then they beat Patrick Mahomes and Texas Tech in the Texas Bowl. We thought, okay, maybe that'll catapult them into 2016. You got a whole bunch of guys back, and they lost the opener at Lambeau, and Les was fired 4 games later. Flip side of it, you could look at 2018, where LSU started to play better throughout the bulk of, or throughout the month of November, and then they win the Fiesta Bowl and carry that into 2019, as we all well know. So there is certainly some validity there, but there are examples to the contrary as well. So I don't necessarily know. I think it's what you make of it. I think there are examples, there are illustrations of both sides, a bowl bump, mattering and not mattering, however you do there at the end of the season. It's really what you make of that to carry you into the offseason. But for LSU, I think the sentiment a lot of people shared was you had the season where you were looking at being 10-2, going to the Sugar Bowl, the Orange Bowl, and this great feeling. You lay down against a 4-win Texas A&M team. It's massively disappointing. You go give up 50 against Georgia. If you lose the bowl game, you finish the season on a 3-game losing streak, and that's really a dud going into the offseason considering all the success you had. Well, this gives you an opportunity sort of for that feel-good in the belly going into the offseason, as opposed to what could have happened had LSU maybe not shown up in a bowl game and taken an L. You still got to go play and win, but you're now a double-digit favorite against Purdue in that Citrus Bowl. And good news today with Jay Ward coming back also. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by DraftKings. If you want to bet, that line, as we mentioned, is up to 10 now. Opened around, as Muse said, opened around 5.5. Climbed up to about 6, and now with the Brom news, LSU now a 10-point favorite. You want to bet on that or any of the bowl games, you can at the DraftKings Sportsbook. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Hey, if you use the promo code Baton Rouge, new customers use the promo code Baton Rouge. Make a $5 pregame moneyline bet on any NBA game. If it hits, they'll give you $150 in free bets. That's at the DraftKings Sportsbook. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code Baton Rouge. Remember, stepped up same-game parlays. More legs you add, the more money you can win. You got to opt in, and you got to use the promo code Baton Rouge. It's at the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app, and be sure to use the promo code Baton Rouge. 21 and older, physically present in Louisiana. Select parishes only. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply. Bonus issued as free bets. Eligibility and terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/basketball terms. Licensee partner Gold Nugget Lake Charles. Gambling problem. Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 1-800-426-2537. We do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products, excellence in imaging solutions.
Texas A&M!
Running back Devon Achane will enter the NFL draft. Led the SEC in rushing yards per attempt in 2021, played in 8 games in 2020. He was a 4-star prospect when he signed with the Aggies in that COVID year.
The Auburn Tigers.
Auburn linebacker and team captain Owen Pappoe will enter the NFL draft as well. Teammates Colby Wooten, Derek Hall announced their intention of entering the draft. Pappoe bounced back from injuries in 2021 to play a full season in 2022. He's a former 5-star recruit.
The Florida Gators.
After 6 seasons at Florida, linebacker Ventrell Miller is entering the NFL draft and says he will skip the Las Vegas Bowl. But get this, he's skipping the bowl because the bowl is during the same time as his graduation. So he's choosing to walk in his graduation instead of playing in the bowl game, or at least that's the excuse he gives. He joined Florida prior to the 2017 season.
The Ole Miss Rebels.
Ole Miss cornerback DeAndre Prince will return to Ole Miss for the 2023 season. 6 foot, 185-pounder. It's a big get for Lane Kiffin to have him back. He's played in 37 career games at Ole Miss and will undoubtedly be one of the starting corners next year. Ole Miss plays Texas Tech in the Texas Bowl December the 28th.
The Kentucky Wildcats.
Kentucky is expected to hire former Texas associate head coach Jay Boulware to coach running backs and special teams. Boulware will replace John Settle, who was fired November 28th after 2 seasons with the Wildcats. Boulware has coached all over: Arizona, Stanford, Iowa State, Utah, Auburn, Oklahoma, and most recently Texas.
The Georgia Bulldogs.
And Jamal Merriweather has flipped from Central Florida to Georgia, committed to the Knights back in April. Georgia offered on Sunday. He flipped on Monday night. 6'7", 285-pound offensive tackle. He's a 3-star prospect on the 247 composite. On 3, ranks him a 4-star. He's the 6th prospect now that Georgia has flipped for this class. All right, there you have it. That is Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. Shout out to our guy, Trey Beal. And our friends at Gulf Coast Office Products. You know where to find them, gcopnet.com. gcopnet.com for Gulf Coast Office Products. Face-to-face sales service after the sale. That's what you always get from our friends at Gulf Coast Office Products, a national leader among Savin dealers, but they will service any make or model. It's at Gulf Coast Office Products, gcopnet.com. All right, we're going to knock out a quick break. When we come back, Taylor Calandro, a little Bourbon Dictionary. Excited to do this. Remember, tomorrow is the Calandro's Rare Whiskey Raffle, so as soon as we finish it on AFR at 6 tomorrow, at 6:30, we'll fire up the Calandro's virtual Rare Whiskey Raffle right here in studio. So if you're watching on the Watch 104.5 ESPN YouTube, that's where you can watch the raffle. We will draw for the right to purchase at retail rare whiskey bottles. Remember, every ticket sold, the money goes to the 4 Kids Foundation and or St. Lillian Academy. So a couple of great charities that'll benefit. Last year raised over $70,000 for charity. So make sure you get by Calandro's and get your tickets. All right, Larry Holder in about 20 minutes after the top of the hour. We're brought to you by Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Roof repairs, roof replacements, commercial or residential. We do it all at Hudco Roofing. You can get to the website to get your free inspection. It's that easy. By the way, if anybody is charging you for a roof inspection, run. Any reputable roofing company should always give you a free, no-obligation roofing inspection. But also keep in mind, reputable matters. Of course, we'd love it if you call us at Hudco. But most importantly, don't trust your home's roof to someone walking down the street just knocking on a door. Reputable companies that have been around for a long time and have a great reputation. Hudco Roofing has been servicing Louisiana for more than 20 years. HudcoRoofing.com. Tell you every day, do business with someone you know. Hudco Roofing and hudcoroofing.com. All right, a Bourbon Dictionary with Taylor Calandro is next.
AFR.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I'm Chris Nakamoto, and here's what I'm working on for my stories on WBRZ Channel 2 tonight. State and federal law enforcement agents are continuing their search for a convicted murderer who was mistakenly released from prison in North Louisiana. The mistake only uncovered when residents in Ascension Parish began questioning why Michael LeBlanc was out free. The Department of Corrections says despite 2 different detainers, he was still set free. The district attorney blaming DOC for the gaffe. I'm Chris Nakamoto from WBRZ. Watch more tonight on WBRZ Channel 2.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Nearly half of children in foster care drop out of school. But you can rewrite that story. Change a child's story. Become a volunteer today.
Time doesn't stop, and the world keeps spinning. Community, culture, and communications. The powerful circle that connects us together. We're creating the next evolution, a network built for every possibility. Moving faster than ever before. Streaming us forward into the future. And the revolution is closer than you think. RTC, ETEL, and Vision are now Rev. New name, same company.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Louisiana. It's a place defined by culture, by pride, by passion, by people who do more than love this place. They celebrate it, elevate it, champion it. They are the individuals who embody what makes Louisiana great. The companies that make Louisiana a better place to work and live. The nonprofits leading transformational change in our communities. Champions of Louisiana are all around us, and LWCC is proud to celebrate them because we've always been Louisiana loyal, supporting the workers, the innovators, the change agents of this great place we call home. Who are the champions around you? Together, we can share their stories. Together, we can help our home state thrive. Together, we are Louisiana loyal. Always.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
They're the gang with the slang. This is Bourbon Dictionary with Matt Moscona and Taylor Calandro.
All right, let's do it. Taylor Calandro joins us from Calandro's Big Day tomorrow. It is the 11th annual Rare Whiskey Raffle. How are you, dude?
I'm good, man. Full blown raffle season right now.
I believe it, man. So give us an update. Wait, real quick. Fill in the blanks for those who have never heard of it, don't know what it is. Just kind of give us the elevator pitch of what it is.
So this is our 11th annual Rare Whiskey Raffle, where we raffle rare whiskey, obviously. We sell tickets at both locations. They start at $10 and go down to $7.50 the more you buy. 100% of the ticket money goes to charity. This year it's 4 kids in St. Lillian and Baton Rouge. We basically raffle the chance to purchase the bottle at retail of whatever it is. Right now we have 122 bottles, I believe. And I wanted to cover this because there's been some confusion that we've gotten asked this question a few times. We are getting Pappy. It is not on the list, and it probably will not be in the raffle tomorrow. However, all the tickets that we sell for tomorrow are going towards that. It's not a matter of if we're getting it, it's when. It's going to be within the next week or two. Okay. We are stopping selling tickets tomorrow, and we decided to push it back to maybe 4:30 tomorrow.
Okay.
We're stopping selling tickets tomorrow at 4:30. That is the last time we will sell tickets. So whenever we get the Pappy and the antique collection from this year in the next week or so, we will not be selling tickets. The tickets that we sold are the tickets that we're raffling. So I'm just letting everybody know that.
And so essentially you don't know, and just to clarify, you don't know what the allocation will be, like how many of the RIP 10, the Lot B, the 15. You don't know how many bottles you're going to get. But once that allocation comes in, you'll use the tickets that you already have sold to draw for that. So there'll be another drawing then for those?
Yeah. We'll probably do like a Facebook Live event or something like that. Okay. And like I said, I've talked to them, and it is coming. It's in the warehouse. They're waiting on a couple things. It is coming. It's in the next week or two. But we are not going to sell tickets when we get that stuff, and I announce that we're doing a raffle next week, at the end of next week, or at the beginning of the following week. We're not going to be selling tickets for that. Those tickets have already been sold, and it's what we're selling tickets for right now.
Got it. So make sure you get by either Calandro's location tomorrow, 4:30. Do we have a hard cutoff date yet that you'll stop selling tickets?
It'll probably be around 4:30. Yeah.
Okay.
4:30 at the very latest. I would plan on getting there before 4 o'clock.
And look, it's
the location.
And also, because I know there's questions about this every year, people will ask, well, why are you raffling the right to buy the bottle instead of just giving people the bottle?
Man, there's so little of this stuff, and it is in such high demand. This is the fairest way, I guess, I'm going to put that in quotations, fairest way to dispense of said bottles, because we don't get a lot. I mean, just from the Pappies and stuff like in the antiques, it's probably a total of 25 to 30 bottles for the whole year. So that's trying to figure out how to distribute that amongst your good customers is very difficult.
Yeah.
So and there's a charity aspect to this too. So and we've raised a ton of money every year from it.
Which is awesome. And I mean, look, I think everybody understands there's no great way to do it. This is a fair way to do it, and also raise money. And basically, you all started this 11 years ago, and everybody kind of follows suit now with some type of charity raffle. So it was a great idea when you all started it, and it continues to be, and a lot of money has been raised as a result. We're thrilled to be a part of promoting this every year and participating. So as a reminder, everybody will be able to watch the raffle tomorrow right here on the Watch 104.5 ESPN YouTube. So if you're watching on YouTube, exactly where you are here, where you'd watch any of our shows all day and all of our specialty shows, you'll be able to watch the raffle tomorrow night. All right, let's get to some questions here. By the way, anything before I get to, I'm not looking at the list for tomorrow. Anything new, interesting, exciting in the raffle?
That we've added this so far this week? No, nothing's come in that we've added. But I'm sure there's going to be other stuff when we do get the Pappy and the Buffalo Trace Antique Collection that we're going to add with that when we do another raffle.
Okay. All right, let's get to questions here. One from Roy. You can always email, tweet, text your questions. Roy Johnson I said, whiskey question, why is any bottle of rye worth $100?
Why is but it would be worth $100 to me if it tasted good.
I know.
Why is it worth? That's kind of a weird question. I think Angel's Envy rye, which is not a traditional rye, and it's hard to find a rye over $100. It's not hard, but there's a plethora of rye under $100. It's a lot harder to find rye over $100 than it is to find rye under $100. You see what I'm saying?
But you can find great ones. I mean, I've told you, like the Kentucky Owl 11-year rye is one of, if not my favorite rye, and certainly one of my favorite pours. Period. The
older marks of Whistle Pig are great.
Yeah.
Those generally are over $100. Even the 10 years creeping up to $100 now.
Yeah.
So
The Whistle Pig 18 is a super rare rod. What's it retail? $200.
400.
The Whistle Pig 18 is $400.
So the double malt is $400. The 15 is in the $250 range.
Oh my God. Inflation is a bee. Sean Comiskey, okay, asked Taylor, best winter ale or seasonal beer. He says, I'm partial to St. Arnold and Sam Adams.
I am partial. I've talked about it on the show before. I'm partial to Shiner Cheer. It's like one of my favorite beers of the year. I don't really drink any other Shiner product, but Shiner Cheer this time of year is fantastic. I'm pretty sure it's peaches and pecans. It's delicious.
Okay. Scott Pataro said, asked Taylor, what's the best alcoholic eggnog brand or flavor?
Oh, I do not like eggnog. I've tried all of them. They're all nasty. The best of the nasty ones, I think, is Evan Williams, the Evan Williams pre-made. I always suggest to people to buy your own fresh eggnog, like Klein Peter or something, and add your own whiskey to it.
Okay, so I didn't understand that. So I always thought that's what people did. So there is pre-made alcoholic eggnog that's sold.
Oh, yeah. Pennsylvania Dutch. Evan Williams makes one. Mother's is another one. Yeah, there's several of them. Yeah, and It's not just whiskey they mix in there. It's different types of spirit: whiskey, rum, brandy. I think that they throw a bunch of different stuff.
Okay. Eric Hart, will we get a list of ticket numbers of winners?
We are, yes. We are going to try to somehow get that on the screen tomorrow, yes. And that'll be posted the next day, the next morning on social media, too.
So I know we've talked a good bit about this, about how to, because a lot of people that watch may not be able to follow the numbers real time. So we're working on a solution for that. Maybe it'll just be posted in the chat. But either way, a list of the winning numbers drawn will be posted on all the Calandros social media.
Yes.
If not
tomorrow night, most definitely before lunch on Friday.
All right.
So the question I've gotten asked the most about that is, if I win, how am I going to know? You will not win and not know you didn't win by the end of next week. I can tell you, there's just no way. We're going to reach out to you. We're going to call you, so you don't have to worry about it.
All right, Taylor Calandro from Calandro's. The Rare Whiskey Raffle is tomorrow. Make sure you get to either Calandro's location to buy your tickets. Cutoff is tomorrow at around 4:30. All right, thanks, dude. We appreciate it. We'll see you tomorrow.
All right, man. See you tomorrow. Thanks.
All right, be well. It's After Further Review. Hour number 2, Larry Holder joins us. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Shawbills Tire and Auto Service, ShawBillsTire.com. Bumper-to-bumper auto service and name brand tires at wholesale prices. You know where to find them. 17 locations across South Louisiana. Find the location nearest you at ShawBillsTire.com. The one that I always go to is the one on Burbank near Bluebonnet. You can find the Shawbills nearest you. The newest location is in Denham, so Livingston Parish. You now have your own Shawbills location. A lot of people would go to the Coursey location, just coming up I-12, but now no need. You can go to the one right there in the LP. It's Shawbills. Started in Morgan City back in 1968. 54 years later, they're still keeping Louisiana rolling, and they treat you like family. So this holiday season, if you're making that Christmas trip to go see relatives somewhere in the state or around the country, make sure your car is in tip-top shape. Have those tires rotated, the oil change. Maybe you need new tires. Shawbills will sell you name brand tires at wholesale prices. Get all the details at ShawBillsTire.com. ShawBillsTire.com for Shawbills, where we keep you rolling.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust Poll of the Day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, anytime. Hunt and Hill. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the Poll of the Day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today. Or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Three people walk into a bar. The first two order the same old margs. The third, Nuevo Topo Chico Margarita Hard Seltzer. Crafted with real lime juice and a crisp tequila flavor. Topo Chico Margarita Hard Seltzer.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
Service Mastery Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Mastery Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Mastery Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
It's no secret, the best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. The man the Bills brought in to be their closer in the postseason will miss the rest of the season. Star pass rusher Von Miller sidelined by a torn ACL. He's already had surgery. During his absence, Miller's leadership will remain critical for Buffalo, points out ESPN NFL analyst Sam Acho.
He's going to have to lead some of these young guys like Greg Rousseau, guys like AJ Epinesa, guys like Boogie Basham, teach them his ways. And, of course, there is no other replacement for Von Miller, but if there's a way that Von Miller can continue off the field to train these guys up on how to be better players and make critical plays in critical moments, the Bills will still have a chance.
Aaron Judge's decision to turn down the Yankees' opening day 7-year, $213 million offer and bet on himself certainly paying off. Judge, after one of the greatest seasons in the history of baseball, agreed to a 9-year, $360 million contract to remain with the Yankees. Cardinals found their replacement for the spot vacated by retired catcher Yadier Molina, agreed on a 5-year, $87 million deal with catcher Wilson Contreras, reports ESPN's Jeff Passan.
End the year on a hiring note. Indeed's end-to-end hiring solution makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates. Sponsor a job and instantly receive a short list of quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us, AFR. Presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
You're a loser, Matt.
Shut up, kid. Danny Cardenas.
And
Every time I come around your city, bang, bang. Make it rain, worried about anything, bang.
Muso. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. We're going to head to West Lafayette, Indiana, 1 hour from right now. We'll talk to Mick Walker, who covers Purdue. Jeff Brom is out. Apparently, he's taking his whole staff with him now and all that sort of stuff. So LSU's opponent for the Citrus Bowl severely limited. Right now, though, we'll welcome an old friend back to the show, to the sultry tunes of one fantastic Canadian band, Ace. Larry Holder. Muse doesn't have Ace of Base ready to go. So, hey, Larry, how are you?
Canadian? I thought they were like Swedish.
No. Isn't that the same?
No, it's not even close.
It's
they
pretty much
live
the same.
an ocean apart.
It's pretty much the same thing. I mean, it's okay. Like we didn't just like have you on every week forever. And Musi and I even talked about playing Ace of Base returning, but he just didn't have Ace of Base. There we go.
You know what?
Better late than never.
I will say this for Muse. He knows what sounder needs to be played when it comes on, and it has to do with basically the kid you just scolded.
Your heathen child.
You scolded my child.
Your heathen child who screams at the television, "You're a loser, Matt," because that's how you talk to adults, right? Way to bring them up right, Larry. Nice and respectful.
Raider pride, yo. Raider pride.
Yeah. How far did you losers make it this year?
Well, I will say this, and this is going to be a sad statement to make publicly, but he, of course, is sixth grade, looking at high schools, and he is not looking to go to Rummel. He is looking to go to, maybe he's just a front runner, but he is looking to go to the school that is going to face Curtis in the state finals this weekend in the Dome.
Going to go to Brother Martin. All right. My dad went to Brother Martin. It's a Brothers Sacred Heart school. So if you can't go to Catholic, which is, the greatest high school in the world, I guess you can go to Brother Martin. That's a distant second. That's cool.
Can I at least tell you this?
Danny's a Brother Martin guy. Danny's in studio. He's a Crusader.
Look, if we lived in Baton Rouge, we all know he'd be going to Catholic. I mean, that's like a given, right?
Of course.
All right.
Of course.
So
where else would you go?
I get it. It's okay. I get it. It's fine.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you had like another thing to say in addition to that.
I was just waiting for you to kind of tee off on me about Vince Lombardi or Don Shula or Bill Belichick and my statements on Twitter, which is, I know you tried to get me on yesterday and I couldn't make that happen, but I made it happen today.
Okay,
so, let's go.
We'll get to that here, I guess, in just a quick moment, though. But okay, we can go there. So I wanted to have Larry on, and I do want to talk some big picture NFL stuff because Larry, of course, is still with The Athletic, but no longer a Saints beat reporter. He covers the entire NFL for The Athletic now. I'm going to try to find your tweet so I can read it exactly and not put words in your mouth. But you were, in essence, defending Dennis Allen, even though you said you weren't defending Dennis Allen. Here's your tweet for all those to see and have context. Larry wrote, "I'm not defending Dennis Allen. Obviously, he's been rough this year. That said, tell me where the Saints roster has been good this year and how it will get better." Okay, so my reply to you was that they were essentially brutal on the roster a year ago and still won 9 games. The problem is Dennis Allen. Take it from there. Where do you think he deserves a break if he does?
I will actually just put it in the sense that where you talk about last year. Well, guess what? For the first 7 games, Sean Payton at least had stability at quarterback. We could talk about Jameis Winston all we want. Well, guess what? He had a healthy starting quarterback. They went 5-2. After that, guess what? It all faltered. They haven't had stability at quarterback since. And like you said, I am not defending Dennis Allen. Of course, it came off like I was. And I will say this. In journalistic integrity, I was in charge of writing the analysis of our news story for the Tampa Bay Saints game, and maybe I was just kind of ticked off that I had to rewrite some stuff, and maybe I got a little salty on Twitter about that thing. So, look, I'm not one to say, look, you know me, I don't hide if I'm right or wrong, whatever. P.S. I was also reminded that I'm going to have to owe you bourbon because Kyle Trask is not going to be in a starter in Tampa anyway.
Yeah.
But that's another conversation. But anyway, look, I do feel like, though, that the roster is underperformed. There's no question that the team has not responded well under Dennis Allen. I mean, I get it. I understand that. But I feel like that the roster has not performed well, and that it's not what it was. Look, quarterback, we can look at that. Everybody can defend Andy Dalton, but come on, he's not a starting quarterback. Alvin Kamara has faltered. The receiving core is not what we thought it would be. Like Michael Thomas, you could say, well, Michael Thomas is on the roster, but he's not playing. Jarvis Landry has not been what you thought. The offensive line has not been what you thought. The defensive line and the pass pressure has faltered, and that's not coaching. I mean, that's just not getting to the quarterback. The secondary, specifically safety, guess what? It's not as good as what you had last year. I mean, Malcolm Jenkins and Marcus Williams were better than what you had with Marcus May and Tyrann Mathieu. So I feel like when you look at it in that sense, the roster has not lived up to what it should have been. And that's not just coaching. Part of it is certainly coaching in terms of the way that they've faltered, but the roster has not lived up to what it has been. So, we know how Twitter is, and we know how it is, and I basically just admitted that it's part of that was coming out in a little bit of venomous, this stinks, all this stinks, but it's not all Dennis Allen. A lot of it's Dennis Allen. I get it, but a lot of it is the roster. They're not living up to expectations.
I think at every position except safety, they're better this year talent-wise than they were a year ago, and they're a much worse team.
How are they better on the defensive line?
How are they better? It's the same people, Larry. And David
But they've
Onyemata was
fallen off. The production has fallen off.
And so if you have the same people and less production, it's because when they go in the meeting room, they're looking at a substitute teacher. I would tell you
how has the defensive line gotten worse because of that? You have the same people.
Ask Dennis Allen.
They should be better.
What's the one variable that's changed?
It's the same defensive coach. Like what? How is that?
What's the one variable that's changed?
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Okay.
Who was your number one receiver a year ago?
Frankly, I don't even remember.
Marquez Callaway. All right. It's not even close. You're better at receiver this year than you were a year ago. You mentioned offensive line. Every starter except your worst starter, Cesar Ruiz, missed significant time a year ago. You were horrendous at quarterback with 4 different players. And yes, you were injury prone at running back. Kamara missed 4 games a year ago. Your offense was atrocious, and somehow they're worse this year. Like, we have completely undervalued what Sean Payton meant to this organization as a whole. And 2012 should have taught us that lesson, and we just didn't heed the advice of that season taught us, is just how valuable that guy being in the room was.
How about that Sean Payton saw the writing on the wall, knew this team was falling, and said, adios, amigos?
I think last year was that, and he still went 9-8. I mean, last year was, and we would agree, right? I mean, last year was a treacherous uphill climb. No team in the history of the NFL had more different starters in a season than last year's New Orleans Saints, and they still went 9-8. But to get that team to 9-8 was incredible. It was an incredible haul, and he didn't want to do it again.
I understand that. They also went 5-2 when Jameis Winston was actually starting, and all right, he's healthy. We're doing a game plan. The quarterback position is not what it is. Like, that's, to me, the number one thing. I think it's pretty obvious. I mean, look, you and me have talked about Andy Dalton. You're not better at quarterback right now.
You are. Larry, you are better with Andy Dalton than you were with Trevor Siemian, Taysom Hill, Ian Book, that combo.
All right, so when Saints went 5-2 with Jameis Winston, where did they go without him?
Last year?
Yeah, just do the math. They went 4-7 without a viable starting quarterback.
I thought you meant in those games. And by the way, that in that span of games, it's still more games that Dennis Allen's going to win this year. And you are better, by the way, with Andy Dalton than you were with Simeon, Hill, or Book in that stretch. I think you would agree with that. Dalton's a better option than those guys. Okay.
Look, I would agree with that. Okay, that's okay. I just feel like I just said it. Tyrann Mathieu has not been the answer. Like Marcus May has not been the answer.
We agree.
I'm just saying, like I will just say where I'm coming from and what I tweeted. It's like what's on the field that day, like that roster. I mean, it's just it's not great. But I also think Dennis Allen all of a sudden didn't become stupid. Like that's the thing.
He's just not a good head coach, Larry. That's the problem. Like he can coordinate a defense. He's just not a leader. He's not an organizational leader. That's the problem. The guys in the room
he certainly led a defense, and that defense became a great defense.
What's that?
I said, look, he certainly guided a great defense. Like he made that defense better. I'm just saying, like all of a sudden, okay,
because it's all he had to do.
Obviously, what I said was that Dennis Allen is certainly to blame, but he's not all to blame. And so I think that's, look, I explained the other tweet, whatever, the Bill Belichick, whatever. I'm just kind of ticked off and just whatever. I'm like, all right, this is silly.
Okay.
Yeah, and that was an overstatement. But the roster has not lived up to what it should be. I mean, that's just where I'm coming from.
And that's because they have a terrible head coach. Okay, so
it's not.
It is. Your roster this year is objectively better than it was a season ago, and you're decidedly worse than you were a season ago because Dennis Allen, who in his career is 12-37 as a head coach, has proven he's not a good head coach, and he's going to get fired or should get fired. So who do they hire then, Larry, when they fire Dennis Allen?
Look, I have a list of coaches that we can go through, but we could have a whole debate about him being fired after 1 year and whether that's what they should do or not. But I'll go with your.
Should they?
Here's the thing: it's the comparison is that people are going to say, "Well, the same organization fired Stan Van Gundy after 1 year." Well, guess what? They barely knew Stan Van Gundy. They've known Dennis Allen for 17 years at this point. So it's a different thing, and it's not like Dennis has not been successful in other jobs within the organization. So I think that's a tougher call. I wouldn't disagree if they did it, but I'm just saying that's a tougher call. It's not a no-brainer call with that. But let's go with what you're talking about, assistant coaches. Look, the fact that they actually had to have interviews this past year would give them a heads up on like who's actually viable. So that in that sense, they actually have some sort of ground base to go. And I will give a shout out to our national NFL columnist, Mike Jones, who put out probably 2 weeks ago about some assistants who would be viable. Some of these names are the same names you actually heard probably last time, like Aaron Glenn from the Lions. You know him, defensive coordinator from the Lions. It's not like their defense is great, but they're actually getting better. And you know him. Eric Bieniemy would be on that same list. I know the hot name you hear him from Dallas is going to be Dan Quinn, and I'm sure the Saints fans would probably like to drive into the river if they hire Dan Quinn just because of what that is. But you look at other names. I'm just going to throw a bunch out, Matt, and we'll just go from there. Leslie Frazier from the Bills, the defensive coordinator, used to be the head coach with the Vikings. Eric Bieniemy, of course, you know him. They interviewed him from the Chiefs, offensive coordinator. I like D'Amico Ryans, actually, from the 49ers, their defensive coordinator. He's been a rising star. I like him if they would like to go that route. Byron Leftwich is still there, of course, the offensive coordinator from the Bucs. Jonathan Gannon, you look at Philadelphia, their defensive coordinator, and Jared Mayo, the defensive coordinator from New England, who was actually, it's funny, he's connected to the Saints in the fact that when they traded up back in 2008 to go get Cedric Ellis, New England traded down, and they actually got Jared Mayo to be their linebacker. So like, there are definitely some viable candidates out there, but like I said, I don't know if the Saints are going to be willing to kind of pull the trigger on that, because it is not eggs and eggs, or apples and apples.
Eggs and eggs.
To stand in, I don't know.
Who
I'm
has
thinking
ever
chicken and
said
eggs.
that?
No one. That's why I'm correcting
Eggs
myself.
and eggs? What are you talking about? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. How did you screw up apples to apples?
Look, I just rattled off about 53 facts here.
You're also
Sometimes
the
you
guy
lose
that
it,
said
my
Kyle
friend.
Trask was going to be a starter in the NFL. You chump.
How's Kenny Pickett?
And you, I don't care about Kenny Pickett. And you got a rude kid. How about that?
My kid. Jeez. Oh.
Do you love when you hear that every day? Do you love hearing that every day?
I will say, I know you warned me about that, or Twitter about it maybe a couple weeks ago,
Yeah.
and I didn't catch it, and then I finally caught it. And the fact that I played it for him and my wife and my in-laws laughed, my wife laughed. Of course, my oldest son Brady, of course, is reveling in all of that. So there you go.
Good. He can go tell all of his friends at school that he's semi-radio famous. How about that?
Truth.
And that his dad doesn't know anything about football and probably shouldn't be a football writer. How about that? Okay. It's after
Semi-true.
That's true. Oh, by the way, you owe me whiskey. When do we ultimately punctuate this? When do I collect?
I need to see 3 years down the line.
So when when he's not the starter next year, then I get to collect?
Yes.
Okay,
Look,
great.
I can admit when I'm wrong. I can admit it. It's okay.
We don't have enough time for all that. Let's just wait. It's only a 3-hour show. All right, now he's Larry Holder, and I'm like so super late now. Hey, thank you very much for the time.
I know. I'm rambling.
No. You rambling's great. We got to catch up on an old time, lost time since you decided you didn't want to come on the show anymore. It's all good. So.
Wow.
We were glad to have you when we can. That is Larry Holder. Thank you for the time, Uncle Larry. We'll visit again soon. Hopefully.
Wow. Talk about non-truth there. Wow. All right, brother. Good talking to you.
I only deal in the truth. Thank you. That is Larry Holder on Twitter at Larry Holder. Go read his stuff at The Athletic. All right, I got to go. I'm way late. It's AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's.com. Rouse's.com. You can always download the Rouse's app as well. Get your personal shopper to go pick out your items for you. You pull up into the designated spot. They'll bring it out to you. Also, keep in mind, y'all, so it is, it's December the 7th. By the way, shout out Terrio. Terrio's birthday today, 43. So be sure to wish him a happy birthday on social media because he loves that. You are less than 3 weeks away from Christmas. Start thinking about it for your Christmas dinner, Christmas Eve, any type of Christmas or holiday party that you're having. Rouse's can cater the whole thing, just like they did for Thanksgiving. They can get you the turkey, the ham, all the sides, whatever you need. They can do it for you with their catering department. Let Rouse's handle all of the holiday fuss this year. So go to Rouse's.com. Rouse's.com. You see it right there on the homepage with the holiday dinner options for you. It's at Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
All right, rolling along here on a Hump Day edition of AFR presented by Pluckers. Remember, trivia night tonight at Pluckers. Holiday movie trivia is the theme. 7:30 at Bluebonnet, 8 o'clock at Nicholson. Get on by, win Pluckers gift cards and other great prizes. We are going to head up to West Lafayette, Indiana to start hour number 2. So about 35 minutes from right now. We'll talk to Mick Waller, who covers Purdue for 247 Sports. Talk about Jeff Brom leaving Purdue, what that means for LSU's bowl opponent. Jake Madison will join us next hour as well. Pell's back on the floor tonight against a bad Pistons team. So we'll preview that game. Let's jump into the portal if we could. Our portal sounder. Raydarius Jones has entered the transfer portal. That should come as no great surprise. Yesterday it was Demarius McGee. Today Raydarius Jones. If you recall, those are the only two cornerbacks on this year's LSU team that returned that had any playing experience, and neither played this year. Raydarius Jones was suspended for the entire season. Demarius McGee played in just one game this year for the Tigers. So, of course, LSU had to go a different direction and hit the transfer portal hard. I mean, we all know Jark Bernard-Converse and Mekhi Garner and Colby Richardson were such key parts of LSU's cornerback rotation this year because those two guys, Jones and McGee, were unavailable. And then obviously you had a couple of true freshmen who redshirted in LaTerrence Welch and Jordan Allen, who actually moved to safety. So it was a hodgepodge at corner. It's kind of remarkable that they played as well in spots and at times that they did. But Raydarius Jones joins Demarius McGee in the transfer portal. Absolutely no surprise whatsoever there. That was expected. So if you're kind of keeping count as of right now, so this is day 3 of the transfer portal. Monday it opened, so this is day 3. Remember, it's a 45-day window where guys can enter the transfer portal. Then there's another portal window, portal period after spring football. But right now it's a 45-day period, which will run into January. So some that we knew, Jordan Tolles had already left LSU, Phillip Webb, Antoine Sampa. So those are the 3 that had already left that we knew were entering the portal. And since the portal opened on Monday, Jack Besh, Raydarius Jones, Demarius McGee, the only one of those that might be a surprise or maybe a disappointment, we could say, would be losing Jack Besh. So LSU is no big surprises as of yet, and this is just a part of natural attrition that has to happen. If you're going to bring in a class of 25-ish high school signees and maybe 8 to 10 transfer portal guys, you've got to have that attrition on the roster. Remember, no hard cap anymore. So it used to be to where you could only sign 25 initials. The hard cap is gone. You can sign as many players in the class as you want. You can sign as many as you want. You just can't go over 85 on your roster as far as scholarship players. So, this is now 6 players, Tolles, Webb, Sampa, Besh, McGee, Redarius Jones, and then you know that Jay Ward is going off to the NFL draft as well. We're expecting B.J. Ojulari to do the same. So that's natural attrition. That's going to happen. Transfer portal, guys leaving for the draft, guys who have exhausted all their eligibility, the seniors and super seniors that we've talked about. So as this continues, and we should have roster news like this every single day during this transfer portal window. And by the way, for a lot of have asked, the deadline to declare for the draft is January the 20th. So 18 days after LSU plays Purdue in the bowl game is when the deadline for the draft is. So it's a little interesting that draft decisions used to come after the bowl game. Well, now it's coming around this time because a lot of guys choose to opt out of the bowl game. So a guy like Jay Ward has announced he's going into the draft, but is going to play in the bowl game. Just kind of how the calendar and some of these decisions have changed over the years. All right, it's after further review. I do want to get a quick thought on Jaden Daniels because there was a draft note with respect to Daniels I'll get to here in a second. Let me remind you about South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. New, certified, pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com, southpointvw.com. Remember, Volkswagen has gone electric as well, the all-new ID4. It's Volkswagen's electric vehicle. You can reserve yours today online at southpointvw.com, southpointvw.com. You see it right there on the banner where you can reserve your ID4. Just tap the banner, make your reservation. It's the first electric SUV for everyone. You can build and reserve your Volkswagen ID4 right now at southpointvw.com. That's southpointvw.com. For South Point Volkswagen, what's your direction? All right, it's after further review. ESPN.com's draft analysts, McShay, Reed, and Kuiper have. If you go to ESPN.com right now on the college, the NCAA football page, you'll see it's sort of like a big topics of this upcoming draft feature that they've wrote about the quarterbacks in this year's draft. And they do talk about, of course, the 3 that everybody knows are at the top of everybody's board. And then the wild card in the class they point out is Anthony Richardson, who had ups and downs this year, but athletically is so dominant and intriguing of a prospect. What was interesting is they did talk about Hendon Hooker. And Todd McShay wrote that despite the ACL, he still sees Hooker as the 4th best quarterback in this draft, and that he's still going to be a day 2 prospect. Now, maybe before the injury would have been a high second-round pick, now might fall into the bottom of round 2 or in round 3. Hooker is an interesting prospect that I think a lot of Saints fans have their eye on. Saints don't have a first-round pick, as we all know, and if they are looking quarterback in this draft, which the Saints should absolutely be looking quarterback in this draft, Hendon Hooker is the really sort of appealing target because he's a guy that you might be able to get outside of round 1 who would seem to have the biggest ceiling. It's kind of perplexing that Hendon Hooker isn't a more highly regarded prospect in this year's draft. Like, I, for the life of me, can't understand why anybody would look at Anthony Richardson as a better quarterback prospect in this draft than Hooker. Yes, Richardson, amazing physical ability, the ability to run and move and big arm and all that stuff, but playing the quarterback position, Hooker seems so much further advanced. But anyway, that may end up benefiting the Saints, who don't have a first-round pick, but if the Saints season continues where it is, you're going to be picking certainly in the top half, if not the top 10 picks of round 2. And so you could end up getting a really good player there, and it might even be Hendon Hooker. This is what was interesting. The other part of this this feature was titled, Who are the other signal callers to know, aside from the top guys in the draft? And Mel Kiper said Max Duggan, Bo Nix, 2 of the most improved signal callers in the country. Said those could be early day 3 picks. Early day 3. So starting round 4, early day 3. He mentions Jake Haener from Fresno State, Jaron Hall from BYU, and he writes, and Jaden Daniels from LSU is a dual-threat quarterback who has taken a step forward as a thrower since transferring from Arizona State. He also goes on to mention Tyson Bagent, who's from Division II Shepherd, who's the NCAA's career leader for touchdown passes in any division. So the Daniels thing is interesting because essentially they're pegging Jaden Daniels as a day 3 pick. Should he come out now? The question for Jaden is, do you come out? Do you get selected somewhere in day 3, rounds 4 to 7, and go try to make a team and catch on? Or do you come back to college for another year and try to improve your draft stock? That's the big domino that still needs to fall and that we're all waiting to see, because whatever Jaden Daniels does likely, very likely, influences Garrett Nussmeier as well. All right, it's after further review. We'll knock out a break. We'll do overrated, underrated, Tigers and the Pros still coming up later this hour. In about 30 minutes from right now, Mick Waller covers Purdue for 247 Sports, and then Jake Madison next hour as well. We'll preview Pels and Pistons from the Blender. Glad to have you aboard with us here on a Hump Day edition of AFR, presented by Pluckers.
AFR.
Christmas trees, Christmas trees, Christmas trees. It is December the 7th. Less than 3 weeks to go till Christmas, but there is still a great selection of Christmas trees at Clegg's Nursery. If you have not gotten your Christmas tree yet, what are you waiting on? You don't even have to answer that. Just go to Clegg's Nursery. Go today. Maybe you knock off of work, get the family together, go pick out that beautiful Christmas tree. Extended holiday hours right now, Monday to Saturday from 8 until 6. Sunday open from 9 to 5 at all 4 Clegg's Nursery locations. They've got live Christmas trees. They've got pre-lit Christmas trees. They've even got great snow globes and poinsettias and everything that you could possibly need to decorate your home for the holiday season. It's at Clegg's Nursery. Get by any of the 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area and make your home a winter wonderland this Christmas season at Clegg's Nursery. Again, great selection still of Christmas trees. One place. Go see our friends at Clegg's Nursery.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
A third of youth who grow up in foster care are homeless 18 months after aging out of care. But you can rewrite that story. Children and youth with CASA and GAL volunteers are more likely to find safe, permanent homes. Change a child's story. Become a volunteer today.
We get it done with strength, commitment, dedication, grit. We get it done with passion for our fans and love for our community. We are the Tigers. Get it done.
Let the values of the purple and gold be in your starting lineup this season. And as always, get it done.
Time doesn't stop, and the world keeps spinning. Community, culture, and communications, the powerful circle that connects us together. We're creating the next evolution, a network built for every possibility, moving faster than ever before, streaming us forward into the future. And the revolution is closer than you think. RTC, ETEL, and Vision are now Rev. New name, same company.
Louisiana. It's a place defined by culture, by pride, by passion, by people who do more than love this place. They celebrate it, elevate it, champion it. They are the individuals who embody what makes Louisiana great. The companies that make Louisiana a better place to work and live. The nonprofits leading transformational change in our communities. Champions of Louisiana are all around us, and LWCC is proud to celebrate them because we've always been Louisiana loyal, supporting the workers, the innovators, the change agents of this great place we call home. Who are the champions around you? Together, we can share their stories. Together, we can help our home state thrive. Together, we are Louisiana.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Okay. Danny and I are having a debate. Well, not really a debate. I need to check. So I asked, Danny's a Brother Martin grad. Of course, I went to Catholic. Both are brothers of the Sacred Heart School. So we are brothers, brethren in this instance. I guess we would just say brethren in this instance. And I asked Danny, I said, are you glad Catholic lost? Because now you don't have to face the smoke in the state championship game. Muse, can he have your mic? Is it even possible to swing that over there or no? Does it fit? Because I want to talk to Danny for a second.
That's as far as it goes, right there.
Danny may have to. We gotta get one of those big long mic cords or something so we can get a mic. No, I know. And so John Curtis beat Catholic. Catholic had a big lead, kind of blew it. Anyway, congrats to John Curtis. Tons of respect. JT Curtis is the greatest, obviously. But and so Brother Martin is going to play John Curtis for the Division I Select State Championship this weekend. And so I asked Danny, are you glad that you don't have to deal with the smoke? Because now all you got to do is just stop the split back veer and you get a championship, right? So are you happy that you don't have to face the smoke from the three-time defending state champion Bears?
I'm not scared of no smoke.
You're not scared of the smoke?
No. Brother Martin would have smoked Catholic, that's for sure.
It's so easy to talk big when you have never won a championship. Are you looking it up?
Yeah, I'm 100% sure they won one state championship in the 70s, and they last been in the 90s.
So you said that they won a state championship in the 70s with a quarterback that went to UCLA. Okay. You're talking about Chad LaRose, who I do know. I know Chad personally. Awesome guy, by the way. But Chad LaRose didn't play at Brother Martin in the 70s. Chad LaRose was on the team that played in the state championship game in I'm almost positive it was 1989, the 89 state championship game. Because 1990, Catholic played Ruston and lost. And I was at the state championship because my dad's a Brother Martin grad. I was at the state championship game in 89 when Brother Martin lost to, I'm almost positive it was Ouachita. Are you looking it up? Are you looking it up? Okay, I'm curious. Do you have it? Because I'm almost positive. If someone has a fact check, please fact check me. I was a kid, so it was a long time ago, but I'm almost positive it was the 1989 state championship game when Ouachita beat Brother Martin. And Chad LaRose was on that team. Chad LaRose is an awesome dude, by the way. He was running back and went to UCLA. Was a phenomenal player. Chad's a great, great dude. Lives in the New Orleans area. Do you have it?
The 71-72 school year, they won district and state in football.
So 72, they won state in football in 72? I need to call my dad.
Yeah, it says like 71-72 school year for
my
football,
dad,
district, state.
My dad was the second graduating class at Brother Martin. And I'm almost positive it was 1972. Dad, if you're listening, call 499-1045. Because I don't know how I can give you the number.
You can text it to me.
I
mean, that always works.
Here, I'll just say it to you. I'll mute my mic. Just write it down. You ready?
Yeah.
Ready? All right. 773-079. Okay. Thank you. Okay. So you have look at Danny. All right, you got a picture. Okay. So this was all right. So they won. So it's Quad A 1971. I wonder if my dad's in that picture. Danny pulled up this picture. So was that at like the Brother Martin website? So if you're listening on Facebook or on the radio, you're missing it. So Danny pulled this up on YouTube on WBXH. So this is a 1971 state champion team from Brother Martin. So it had been the 71 season, the 71-72 school year, which I'm almost positive because my dad did 2 years at St. Aloysius. They merged with Coriezu, became Brother Martin. He was the second graduating class. So I'm almost positive it was that year. But I didn't know they won state. But shout out to Chad LaRose, who was the running back you're talking about. Did you find out if that was 89, the championship game I'm talking about? By the way, this is such a niche rabbit hole conversation that probably applies and is maybe interesting to 30 people listening. So to everyone who doesn't care, my sincere apologies for all that. Did you call him?
Yeah, your dad didn't answer.
Are you kidding? What is he doing? He's not doing anything.
He didn't answer. I couldn't ask him what he was doing.
My dad's not. Call him a second time, please. My dad's not doing anything. I mean, he might be. He's a deacon at St. Teresa, and he might be like doing a funeral and blessing a grave, or someone could be getting married.
That's pretty important.
He could be doing some actually very important things. That actually could be the reality of this. But he's probably not. He's probably not. See if he answers. No?
Not yet.
I'm really disappointed in him for not answering. Muse, we're supposed to do overrated, underrated here, but I've derailed the show. Do you want to do overrated, underrated really quickly?
I mean, we can.
All right. Let's do it real quick. Yeah, go. Dad, call the show.
Overrated or underrated?
I personally think he's criminally underrated.
Wait.
Oh, this would be way better than overrated, underrated if my dad answers. Is it? Oh, it is. Okay, good. All right, my dad called. All right, good. I'm going to venture a guess that 98.76% of our audience is completely disinterested in this conversation, but I don't care. I'm going to take a personal liberty here. All right, so my dad called back. Dad, how are you?
I'm good.
Were you listening?
No, I'm actually in a meeting.
What meeting?
A meeting with a guy at a coffee shop.
Okay.
Just talking.
Yeah, you can wait on that. Don't worry, but he doesn't matter. This matters. Okay. So, what year did you graduate from Brother Martin? What class?
71.
You were the
second class.
The class of 71. Okay. So, I thought you were class 72. Did you know that Brother Martin won a football state championship
in 1972?
Well, no, so they won it it was the 71 season.
Yeah, right. That's right. It's the year after I graduated.
So the year after you graduated. Okay. Then what? So you're not in. So Danny pulled up a picture of that team. So you're not in this picture. Now I have another question. What year do you remember when you and me and Brian, when the three of us went to the Dome to watch Brother Martin in the state championship game? What year was that?
Oh,
wasn't it 89?
It was 89.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
it was the year before we moved up here. Was that fall?
We moved up. We moved to Baton
89.
Rouge in the fall of 89, and it was that year, right?
No, we moved in Baton Rouge in the spring of 89. No.
Yeah, it was summer.
Yeah.
It was the summer of 89.
Yeah, it was that year.
It was that
we
year.
went back for the game. Yeah.
And they lost to Washita, right?
Yes.
Look at that. My memory, in some respects, is still kind of sharp. Actually, got their ass kicked by Washita, didn't they?
I'm pretty sure it was not a fun night.
Yeah, I know. But Chad LaRose was on that team, right?
I don't remember that.
Oh, you don't remember that?
Be.
Okay. Do you? So Danny is a Brother Martin. What year, Danny? All right, so Danny graduated from Brother Martin in 2015. So your Brother Martin brethren is here, by the way. And I was asking him if he's glad that Catholic lost in the semis, because otherwise he wouldn't want the Catholic high smoke in the state championship game. And he tried to play tough, like he didn't really care, like he wanted to smoke. But Dad, we both know that would have gone very badly for the Crusaders, right?
It would have.
Yeah,
it would have.
Thank you very much. See, Danny knows. He's just shaking his head over like, no. Trust me, it'd have gone bad for you, Danny. That's how we roll over here. We hang banners and whatnot. All right. Hey, by the way, Dad, I wanted to, while I got you here, and since we're doing all this just like completely inside baseball stuff that no one else listening cares about, I got a text today from Joe Morales over at HUDCO. And we did a roof inspection for a guy named Bob Lee, who apparently was in the Navy with you.
Yes.
Anyway.
In fact, he reached out to me to try to contact me.
Well, I got his phone number here, and he wants to talk to you. So
I think we're in boot camp together.
Let's see. Yep, he said, turns out he served with Jody in the Navy and went through boot camp with him. So there you go. He'd love to talk to you. So Bob Lee's looking for you. I got his phone number here, and now we have had a personal conversation with thousands of people listening that don't care a lick about any of the stuff we just discussed. So
yeah, and if Bob Lee's listening, tell him to call me.
Well, he doesn't have your number, Dad. How's he going to?
He does, because I texted him already.
Oh, well, then why did Joe send me this? Like Bob Lee didn't know that you had his number.
We'll talk later about it. I'll tell you, it came from you.
Well, apparently so. Here with
Jim Woodworth called me.
Yes, great dude. Mold Zero.
Yeah, he called me and said, this guy's looking for you. He said, he's in the Navy with you. And he said, look, I didn't give him your number, but here's his number. And so I texted the guy, Bob Lee.
Okay, fantastic. That's awesome. Okay, well, enjoy your coffee. It was nice to talk. Thank you, Dad.
Thanks.
All right,
Bye-bye.
I love you. I'll talk to you later. Okay. That might be either the best or worst segment in the history of this show. I'll let you decide, and we'll come back and we'll do Tigers in the Pros.
Question?
Yes. Was the Catholic Brother Martin, Matt's dad segment the worst or best segment in the history of the show?
All right.
And text me as well, because I think a lot of people are going to vote the poll arbitrary and not know what we're talking about. But if you're listening, text me, 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. Was that the best or worst segment in the history of the show? It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by the Baton Rouge General Hospital, brgeneral.org, brgeneral.org for the Baton Rouge General Hospital. You know what to do. Go to brgeneral.org and get a full list of all of the different services that they have there at the Baton Rouge General Hospital, the locations as well, the Bluebonnet campus, the Mid-City location. If it's the Pennington Cancer Center, the Regional Burn Center, the Ascension Neighborhood Hospital. For the first time, Ascension Parish, you have your own emergency room now, and you can see it right there backing up to I-10 by Highway 74. It's Baton Rouge General Hospital, brgeneral.org. And, of course, the Baton Rouge General lets so much of the community get in the festive spirit this time of year with holiday lights at the Baton Rouge General Hospital. You go to brgeneral.org to get more information there about the holiday lights. If you're looking at the Bluebonnet campus, you turn off a Bluebonnet onto Picardy. You can't miss it, especially at night when it's all lit up. It is gorgeous. It's the holiday lights at the Baton Rouge General Hospital. You can learn more at brgeneral.org. That's brgeneral.org.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $11,000 off MSRP plus 2.9% with 72 months on all new 2022 Ram Black Widow trucks in stock. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I'm Chris Nakamoto, and here's what I'm working on for my stories on WBRZ Channel 2 tonight. State and federal law enforcement agents are continuing their search for a convicted murderer who was mistakenly released from prison in North Louisiana. The mistake only uncovered when residents in Ascension Parish began questioning why Michael LeBlanc was out free. The Department of Corrections says despite 2 different detainers, he was still set free. The district attorney blaming DOC for the gaffe. I'm Chris Nakamoto from WBRZ. Watch more tonight on WBRZ Channel 2.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
All right, wrapping up hour number 2. Greg Lehman said you could always use a freak jury to solve your problems. We could do that. Or we could do the obligatory Twitter poll that we have to do every day. And
it's posted. That's what we did.
I think we're obligated to do a Citizens Bank poll question of the day on Twitter. So it's there. Kyle Batson said, it was the best segment. Give me more of Deacon Moscona. Sports history segments like we get Mama Scone's March Madness. That's a Catholic school, so I'm picking them segments. That's kind of true. I mean,
they do love your mom's bracket segment.
And my family is extremely Catholic. Like, Dad's a deacon. Mom works in Most Blessed Sacrament Church office. My wife works at St. Jude School. My brothers worked at basically every Catholic school in the state, it seems. His wife worked at the academy when they lived in Baton Rouge. I got a sister-in-law who works at St. Jude. Yeah, we've been all we got all the boxes covered.
And you do sports radio and hang up on a priest from time to time. What is this?
Well, I've known him a long. He's not really a priest. I mean, he is a priest, but to me, he's not really a priest. He's just the guy I've known forever. All right, Muso, Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now. Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, where Baton Rouge gets engaged.
Oh, Joey B.
Never
AFC Offensive Player of the Week. That's what happens when you beat Patrick Mahomes for the third time, Matt. When you're 3-0 against Patrick Mahomes to complete 80% of your passes for 286, rush for 46 yards, and have 3 total touchdowns in the game. That's what Joey B did this past Sunday in AFC Offensive Player of the Week or his troubles. Update on the Odell Beckham Jr. situation. The visit with the Cowboys is now officially over, and OBJ has left Dallas without an offer to play for Jerry Jones. And now Nick Sirianni is speaking out because the Eagles this morning were tabbed as a potential landing spot for OBJ. Nick Sirianni at his press conference said he's happy with the receiver room that he has, although he did not give a direct answer on Odell Beckham Jr., just that he's happy with the receiver room that he has, and it's the best he's ever had being a part of the NFL. Okay. So we'll see. Maybe. Javonte Smart last night for the Birmingham Squadron played 20 minutes of action, shot 5 of 8 from the floor for 13 points in that game. 1 rebound, did turn the ball over twice. Birmingham Squadron, affiliate of your Pelicans, got the win, 138-135. That's Tigers in the Pros.
Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, LMFJ.com. LMFJ.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Gentlemen, if you are thinking of popping the question, go to the place with the best selection of the most beautiful diamonds at the best prices where you always get the Lee Michaels experience. It's Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, LMFJ.com, LMFJ.com. Caleb Blunt said that was neither the best or the worst segment. The best was Ryan talking about Coach Jerry Sullivan. And there was another that said, I was going to roll best, but Ryan talking about Maddox peeing on his leg was hard to beat. Happy birthday, Rhino. It's
AFR.
We're brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center, 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEye.com. That's WilliamsonEye.com. Remember, we are getting nearer the end of the year. And if you have HSA or FSA dollars, you can use that for vision correction surgery. But you got to do it before the end of the year. Those funds expire at the end of the year. So you got to call the Williamson Eye Center. Got to go for that consultation with Dr. Blake Williamson and then get on his surgery schedule. And you got less than a month to do it now. Obviously, it's December the 7th. So Williamson Eye Center, full service optical shop. You can have your eye exam. We always say eye care, eyewear, or eye surgery. You can have your annual eye exam. You can buy your contacts and glasses, or if you want to ditch those contacts and glasses forever, you can have your refractive surgery at the Williamson Eye Center. 924-2020. Call them today, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEye.com.
Service Master Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Master Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Master Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli? I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. The news is not good for the Bills and Von Miller. The star pass rusher will miss the rest of the season with a torn ACL. He's already had surgery. The loss of a player Buffalo brought in to be its closer in the postseason dramatically changes the mindset of its defense, explains ESPN's Marcus Spears.
As a collective, these guys can do a lot of damage with their skill set. I think you have to go back into that mindset as opposed to let's let Von get to the quarterback and everybody will feast off of that. One of these guys are going to have to step up and take the mantle and say, I'll be the guy to make the play, because we knew Von wouldn't.
Rams defensive tackle Aaron Donald out against the Raiders tomorrow with a high ankle sprain. Aaron Judge, perhaps the greatest example of betting on yourself. Judge, who turned down a 7-year, $213 million offer from the Yankees opening day and had one of the greatest seasons ever in Major League Baseball, got a mega contract from New York, agreeing to a 9-year, $360 million deal with the Yankees. NBA Lakers will be without LeBron James and Anthony Davis tonight against the Raptors.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive Commercial Insurance flexes to fit your business's needs. From quick repairs to adjustable coverages and even payment options, Progressive Commercial makes it easy to get what you need. Quote today in as little as 6 minutes at progressivecommercial.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Danny Cardenas.
Every time I come around your city, make it rain real about
Muso. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. 5 o'clock quitting time. Glad you're driving home with us. Pelly's back on the floor at the Blender tonight. Jake Madison, Locked on Pels, will be here in 15 minutes from right now. Of course, LSU on January 2nd is going to take on Purdue in the Citrus Bowl. First time those two teams will match up in history. A game that opened around a 5-point line with LSU as the favorite has jumped to 10 now with the news that Jeff Brom is leaving Purdue, heading back to his alma mater to be the new head coach at Louisville. So what does this mean for the Boilermakers against LSU on January 2? Let's head up to West Lafayette. Mick Walker covers Purdue for 247 Sports. He's on Twitter at Mick Walker247. Good enough to hang out with us here for a couple of minutes. Mick, thank you for the time. How are you?
Good. I'm doing good. Appreciate you guys having me on.
It's our pleasure, and we appreciate you because coaching searches, that is crazy season right now. So we appreciate you for making time. Let's just start off, if we could, with the Jeff Brom decision. What can you tell us about the timeline? Because that certainly seemed like that accelerated quickly.
Yeah, I mean, on Monday at his weekly press conference, he said he had not talked to Louisville yet. And obviously today's Wednesday evening, and broke this morning that he would be headed back to Louisville as the head coach, which is where he obviously played and coached as an assistant. And I think that's really the story there. He has a lot of deep ties. His dad coached in the area as a high school coach. Him and his two brothers played there. So I think when that opportunity presented itself, it was hard. It was going to be hard for him to say no a second time to going home.
He had the opportunity, I believe, about 4 years ago, decided to stay at Purdue. So what does this mean now for Purdue for the Citrus Bowl? Who coaches the team?
Yeah, I reported earlier, and I think it started to become more public that his brother, Brian Brom, who's the offensive coordinator, will be the interim head coach for Purdue. He's also probably expected to go with his brother to Louisville. He's also another Louisville guy, played quarterback, played high school there. But I expect that is not going to change much on the offense, really. You're still going to have Aiden O'Connell, Charlie Jones, guys like that. They're going to be big against the LSU defense. I don't know really what it does for the defense side yet because I don't know what coaches are going with him. So that's probably the bigger question is what are they going to be able to do against guys like Jalen Daniels, Keyshawn Booty, those different guys.
Is there any – because we just obviously from a 10,000-foot view, we're nowhere near the situation, but it sounds like a lot of the assistants at Purdue are going to follow Jeff Brom to Louisville. Is there any idea how many may stick around to coach this game?
No, not yet. It just seems a little bit too early. Obviously, Brom, like I said, is a big Kentucky guy, so he's built a staff with a lot of Kentucky guys, so it would make sense for him to take a number of them with him. We just don't know who exactly is going to stay and who's going to go. I'd expect guys like David Elson and Mark Hagan, who are two defensive coaches, they might stick around. They're big Indiana guys. But some of the guys like running back coach, the offensive line coach is close with Brom. And then the quarterback's coach, I've also heard, not the quarterback's coach, but the wide receivers coach. I think they all could be headed to Louisville. It's going to be a big list, so nobody's really sure who's going to be left.
You did bring up Aiden O'Connell, a sixth-year senior quarterback. Has he made it a public announcement that he is going to play in the bowl game?
No, but yesterday when Brom talked, Monday when he talked in his weekly press conference, he mentioned that he hadn't really heard of many players opting out. He had some conversations, but nobody had said they were opting out. And if you're in O'Connell's shoes, you don't really gain from opting out. He put a lot on tape, but he also can still put more on tape. And he's playing to get drafted and get a roster spot. So I think playing in another game would help him.
Mick Walker is with us on Twitter at MickWalker247, covers Purdue. In what way do you anticipate this Brom news, him leaving the team, will affect their preparation and maybe their play in the bowl game?
I'm not 100% sure yet because obviously I think depending on who they hire could give them some energy. There's a lot of energy surging behind Jamarcus Shepard, who's a former Purdue assistant, Indiana guy that's now over at Washington. If he were to get hired as the head coach, I think the whole program and the team would have a lot of energy behind it. So I think that could change it. But if it's a coach that nobody really knows or if different circumstances happen, it's hard to see how this is going to affect how they're going to play. It's really up in the air just because it's so new.
Let me ask a couple more questions about this Purdue team. The Brom news changes a lot of things about what I'm about to ask, but generally, what is the feeling about playing LSU in this bowl game, coming off a loss in the Big Ten championship game?
Yeah, I think Brom is a very competitive guy. I think he's instilled that in his program, but also it's something they're somewhat ready for, considering they played Tennessee last year in their bowl game and Auburn the year before. So they're used to playing SEC opponents, SEC athletes. I don't think that's something the team's going to be scared of. And especially since I said that earlier, they're competitors. I don't think they like the taste they had left in their mouth after the Michigan loss. So I think you're going to get a pretty competitive Purdue team on January 2nd.
I mean, with any bowl game, I mean, one of the maybe the most important question is motivation. You know, who wants to be there, who wants to be in that game. That's something I guess both these teams will find out once they line it up on January the 2nd. If I asked you about this team, strengths offensively and defensively that LSU is going to see on the 2nd?
Yeah, Purdue is a very good down-to-down defense. If you look at them first, they give up a lot of explosive plays. So that's where LSU is going to have to attack them and perhaps beat them, is beating them deep on explosive plays. But on the offensive side of the ball, it's an offense that likes to hit explosive plays. They get a lot of big chunk plays. They pass it around a lot. They use their wide receivers, tight ends. Obviously, Charlie Jones has kind of been a star for them this year, and they just like to move the ball around. But they have had an emergence of a running back in Devin Backaby, who's almost at 1,000 yards. They've become more of a balanced team this year, but like you said, that kind of depends on how they plan to attack LSU with the whole coaching changes and what play calls they might have in the book.
What about offensively?
Yeah, offensively, like I said, I think they're going to be explosive, and that's what they're going to look to do. They have struggled when it comes to just turnovers. Aiden O'Connell's thrown his fair share of interceptions this year, so that's going to be a way that LSU can attack them and exploit them. But they're going to look to pass the ball down the field and do it early, often, and give the ball to Mockaby, the running back, when they can, and see if they can change it up and just really take what LSU is going to give them.
Hey, Mick, before you go, you did mention Coach Shepard, but any other names on the short list or the long list of potential targets that no doubt is growing here in the coming days?
Yeah, it's really open right now. There's a lot of assistant coaches in the Big Ten, like a Ryan Walters or a Joe Rossi. Those are guys that could get a look. Sharon Moore, the offensive coordinator at Michigan, could also get a look. But then you're looking at head coaches, which there's probably going to be some MAC guys, which are the big, obviously, tie up here in the region because there are a lot of Midwest schools. So you're looking at Jason Candle at Toledo or maybe Chris Creighton at Eastern Michigan. Those are the type of guys that I think, broad picture, are sort of getting a look right now.
He is Mick Walker, covers Purdue for 247 Sports. He's on Twitter at MickWalker247. Mick, we appreciate the time. I'm sure we'll be in touch between now and January 2nd, man. Thanks for taking a few minutes today.
Yep, you too. Thank you. Have a good one.
All right, man. Bye. Be well. It's After Further Review, brought to you by Pluckers. Jake Madison's going to talk Pels here in about 5 minutes from right now. That's interesting. So it looks like Jeff Brom's brother Brian will be the interim coach for the Bowl. They're not sure how many players and coaches are even going to be there for the game. One reason why you've seen that line, which we've talked about a couple times, the LSU-Purdue line opened around 5. LSU's about a 5-point favorite in the past couple of days since the Brom news started to bubble, and obviously now he's left. You've seen it jump all the way to 10 points. LSU's a 10-point favorite now over Purdue in that ball game. We always talk about motivation. I mean, in any bowl game, the single biggest question that has to be answered is motivation. Who wants to be there? Who is excited to be in that game? And it was sometimes one of the hardest things to gauge. Like, should Alabama beat Kansas State in the Sugar Bowl? Absolutely. But they've already had 2 starting offensive linemen opt out. They've had like 9 guys enter the portal. They are used to being in the playoff, and now they're going to the Sugar Bowl. How excited are they actually to be there? On the flip side, you better believe Kansas State's going to play with their hair on fire. So, I would have given the excitement edge to Purdue in the ball game. But now you lose your coach, and I think all that shifts back toward LSU. Plenty to discuss. You better believe that's going to be a huge storyline as we get closer to the game on January the 2nd. Okay, it is after further review. Hump Day shows are brought to you by Pluckers. Let me knock out a quick break. We'll come back. We'll head down to the blender. Pels, Pistons tonight. Jake Madison, Locked on Pels, will be with us next. It's AFR.
AFR. It's a raving fan shout-out. Presented by Darren James & Associates, brokered by eXp Realty.
Well, you drive around, you see a lot of for sale signs in front of homes, and you realize market just, for some people, isn't moving the way that it had been during that incredibly hot market months ago. That is unless if you've listed your home with Darren James. The number one realtor in the state with eXp, top 1% of realtors in America. This 5-star review said, Darren is the best realtor I have ever worked with. He was great representing us. When the builder wanted to delay closing, he was able to get the builder to close by the end of the month. He is always looking out for his clients. If you need to sell your home, you need to do it quickly for top dollar, and you want a stress-free experience, you need Darren James. 335-7666 or agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
We get it done with strength, commitment, dedication, grit. We get it done with passion for our fans and love for our community. We are the Tigers. Get it done.
Let the values of the purple and gold be in your starting lineup this season. And as always, get it done.
Time doesn't stop, and the world keeps spinning. Community, culture, and communications, the powerful circle that connects us together. We're creating the next evolution, a network built for every possibility, moving faster than ever before, streaming us forward into the future. And the revolution is closer than you think. RTC, ETEL, and Vision are now Rev. New name, same company.
Winter can be magical. The Mercedes-Benz Winter Event is here, and there's no better time to check out our new Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge inventory. We have the vehicles that can make your holiday extraordinary. See all the latest technological features on the newest models during our Mercedes-Benz Winter Event. Shop our best of the best award-winning dealership. Visit mbobr.com.
Louisiana. It's a place defined by culture, by pride, by passion, by people who do more than love this place. They celebrate it, elevate it, champion it. They are the individuals who embody what makes Louisiana great. The companies that make Louisiana a better place to work and live. The nonprofits leading transformational change in our communities. Champions of Louisiana are all around us, and LWCC is proud to celebrate them because we've always been Louisiana loyal, supporting the workers, the innovators, the change agents of this great place we call home. Who are the champions around you? Together, we can share their stories. Together, we can help our home state thrive. Together, we are Louisiana loyal. Always.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Pluckers Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Pluckers Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Muse, what did we decide on the poll question yesterday?
That was a couple days ago, but I don't know. I have to go back and get the results. But I figured, why the hell not today? I mean, they're second in the Western Conference. Let's go.
so you know the poll results.
I'm getting them. But, I mean, that was like a couple days ago, so it's going to take a minute for me to get there. A lot of polls to go through.
All right, Jake Madison, Locked On Pels, joins us. How are you, dude?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on.
It's our pleasure. Hey, you're a great gauge for this because you do a daily Pelicans podcast the entire year, not just in the season. How much interest is there in this team right now, beginning of December, relative to years past?
It's pretty high. You know, we go through some cycles where one year the team might be good. The interest is high to start in October, November, and then for whatever reason they fall flat on their face, and the interest starts to taper off right now. Except it hasn't this year. They've been consistently good all year. They have a chance to be the number one seed tonight after the games are played, and the interest has been sky high. Zion looks to be a superstar. This team's good. There's a lot of rootable guys here, and I think people are excited. I'm here sitting courtside right now, actually. They have a ton of people in pregame to watch this team warm up. Usually you see maybe 10, 15 people before. Now all the courtside seats are taken. So there's an indication right now that everyone loves the Pelicans.
I mean, that's a great illustration, right? So Jake's there at the blender. And Jake, they're playing the Pistons. It's like, you know this as well as I do. Usually the crowd is dependent on the opponent. If the Lakers are coming in or if Steph and the Warriors are coming in, you're always going to draw. This is a 7-19 Pistons team that's coming in right now. What's the vibe like in and around the arena since you're there?
Yeah, it's been fun. You know, the blender stuck a little bit like a party a lot of the time. The game the other day against the Denver Nuggets, when they started to come back, when they were really kind of putting the hurt on Nikola Jokic, Zion was out going, getting his. Trey Murphy wants to be in the dunk contest, was flying high, trying to catch bodies. It gets hyped in here. It feels like a playoff atmosphere on most nights when this team is winning, when they're competing, because it's such a fun team to be able to go out and watch. And look, you mentioned that it's a bad Pistons team they're playing tonight. It's also a Wednesday. This isn't a weekend game. This is something that people are going to have to rush over from work to get to, and people are trying to do it.
Jake Madison is with us on Twitter at NolaJake. We'll preview the game in just a second, but I do want to ask, this team has surprised a lot of people, right? They could be first in the West after tonight. But you watch this team play every single game. What in particular, what element, player, style, something has surprised you so far this year?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of things. I think the number one thing to really look at with this team right now is their depth. And I did a show on this the other day asking if this is the deepest team in the NBA, and they really might be. They're going for a 5-game winning streak tonight, and they're doing this without Brandon Ingram, who hasn't played. And in years past, when the Pelicans lose one of their star players or one of their best players, they're just decimated by injuries. They go on a losing streak, and that's that. Except they're winning right now. You have multiple starters out for New Orleans, and guys just stepping right up, kind of with that next man up mentality that fit this team. Trey Murphy can slide right in, give you shooting, give you defense like Herb Jones does. If CJ McCollum's out and they need some more ball handling, Jose Alvarado's capable of doing that, or even rookie Dyson Daniels. And a lot of these guys are defense first, and New Orleans is third best defense right now, and that's been able to sustain them in a way. So this is a team that goes 11, 12 deep at times, and you're really seeing that pay off, that they're not missing a beat when starters are out.
Speaking of which, you have an update on B.I. and Herb?
I don't believe they're playing tonight. Brandon Ingram is out. I'm talking to you instead of going to listen to the coach talk, so I don't have an update on Herb Jones just yet. It's probably on Twitter, but it seemed like he wasn't going to be playing. The Pelicans haven't been rushing guys back from injuries because they've been winning and they know that depth is there. They're playing the long game. I think that's going to kind of continue for a little bit longer with them. But I think we'll start to see Brandon Ingram practicing a little bit more, get him back on the court sooner rather than later.
Jake Madison's with us, Locked On Pelicans. Get to your favorite podcast app. Subscribe to Locked On Pels. You'll want it every single day. They're part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Let's talk a little bit about the game tonight against Detroit. Any matchup specifically with the Pistons to be concerned about?
Yeah, there's a couple of guys you really got to watch out for. They've got a very good wing scorer in Bojan Bogdanovic. He torched the Miami Heat, who are a good team last night, for 30-plus points. They won by 20 on the road when Miami wasn't resting any of their starters, really, though Jimmy Butler didn't play. It's a guy that can come out and get them 30 and really elevate this team. They have some athletic big men in a guy like rookie Jalen Duren. Some of their guard play has been really good this season, too. they're a young team that just hasn't put it all together, but they also have a lot of young guys that want to go out and compete and kind of stake a claim in the NBA, start to establish their careers. So this is a team that you just can't take for granted, think that you're going to be able to get the win. And so hopefully New Orleans comes out kind of ready for that and doesn't let this be a letdown game. But it's really going to be on their defense. They force Detroit into a lot of turnovers. New Orleans leads the league in deflections, so knocking the ball loose, getting their arms in the passing lane. It's going to be tough for this Detroit team to score. It's going to create easy offense for New Orleans and hopefully get them the win.
A couple more for you, Jake. I'm also curious about, so for a guy like Billy, right, who's just not seeing minutes, and obviously look how great the team's playing. Like, how do you mess with that? Do you see any way, injury aside, that there are changes to rotations to get some of the guys down the bench involved to get even deeper and get these guys minutes, or are they pretty much set?
I think for the most part they've kind of struck on what works. And so outside of injuries, I don't think you'll see a guy who I'm watching warm up right in front of me right now, Billy Hernangomez, who's not missing a shot, by the way, get a ton of minutes. And it's kind of surprising, right, because he's the Eurobasket MVP. He was in Europe, and he was named the best player out of that whole tournament, and Spain won it all. And he's buried kind of on the bench here. But there's situational opportunities for these guys to really play. You saw him play a big role against the Denver Nuggets, neutralizing Nikola Jokic, the two-time MVP, both offensively and defensively, too, in a way that Larry Nance Jr. wasn't going to be able to do because of his size disadvantage there. You also had Jonas Valanciunas in foul trouble. So there's opportunities for guys to come out and play and make an impact and try and earn more minutes. But it's not probably going to be during the regular rotation. I think they really like, in terms of the guards, giving rookie Dyson Daniels a bunch of minutes. He reminds you a lot of Lonzo Ball, but maybe a better defender, I think. And he's 6'8". They give him size that they don't have. They like Jose Alvarado being the spark plug off the bench. He had 38 points the other night in an incredible performance. So I think the rotation for the most part is going to be set, but there's going to still be situational opportunities for these guys to really rise to the occasion.
Pels are a half game behind Phoenix for first place in the West. Are they legitimate, Jake? I mean, is this a team we should legitimately be talking about as a contender in the West?
So they're close. I'm not ready to say that just yet. And the big part of that is the health and the fact that Brandon Ingram and Zion Williamson have only played 11 games together this season. That type of depth they have is really good during the regular season when you need those guys to step up. When it's 82 games, load management comes into play, injuries come into play. But in the postseason, you trim your rotation down to 8-9 guys at the most, and you need to rely on your stars. So you want to see these guys getting reps together, getting ready for the playoffs. So until they have a stretch run where everyone's healthy, the starting five is always out there, I'm going to hold off from saying they're true title contenders just yet. When that happens, look, the Western Conference is wide open this year. There's anyone can kind of go through that door. So certainly New Orleans is going to be capable of doing that because when you watch the defense, it looks very real. We're seeing what they're doing with Point Zion, who's flirting with triple-doubles every single night, and I expect the same tonight. This is a very good team here.
He is Jake Madison on Twitter, at NOLA Jake. If you're not subscribed yet, make sure you do so. Locked On Pelicans, however you get your podcast. Follow him on Twitter at NOLA Jake. Pels and Pistons tonight, 7 o'clock at the Blender. Hey, man, we appreciate you making a couple of minutes. Thank you.
Of course. Thanks for having me on.
All right, man. Be well. It's After Further Review brought to you by Relief Windows, reliefwindows.com. 288-8138, 288-8138, 288-8138, or reliefwindows.com. That's energy-efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, hardy plank and vinyl siding. When I mentioned hardy plank and vinyl siding, remember, the entire exterior of your home can essentially be remade in about 2 weeks' time. From the moment you first walk into their showroom there on Airline Highway in Prairieville. From the time you walk into the showroom or you call them and go through all of your options, so they order finished in whatever favorite color that you want, to when they come and install it, in about 2 weeks' time, you could have an entirely remade exterior of your home with beautiful color siding that comes finished in your favorite color, won't chip or crack or peel. It's fire resistant, weather resistant. Great options. Learn more at reliefwindows.com. Energy efficient replacement windows, beautiful entry doors, hardy plank and vinyl siding. It's Relief Windows and reliefwindows.com. It is incredible. And look, Jake's right about the Pels right now. Your depth is your great asset because you're playing right now with with starters hurt. I mean, we've seen Zion miss time right now with B.I. and Herb out. We saw C.J. McCollum miss time. And you haven't missed a beat because you've got this great depth and young talent that you continue to develop. Learning how to win in the postseason is another thing, which is why I believe last year's experience was so valuable. To get to the play-in, to win it, to go toe-to-toe in a best-of-7 with Phoenix, who was the best team in the NBA, for the entire regular season. Of course, it got bounced by Golden State, but that's that type of experience is invaluable in a young team learning how to win. So, by the time we get to May, it's going to be a different kind of conversation. But the fact that we're having the conversation in December about that as a possibility is almost unreal. And when you're able to go win against, look, you throttled Denver the other night, the reigning MVP, without two starters. It's incredible when you think about it. When this team, a year ago, they started 3-13. They were atrocious. They were just an atrocious basketball team. The about face in one calendar year is staggering. It's hard. It is really hard to qualify. You can quantify it. You can look at the record. 3-13 to start a year ago. Right now, they're 15-8. They're second in the West. They were one of the worst teams in the league last year. You can quantify it. But to try to put it into perspective and qualify it is really, really hard to do. Boy, they're a lot of fun to watch. All right, it's after further review. We'll grab a quick break. Hump Day Shows is brought to you by Pluckers, which means every Wednesday, of course, trivia night at Pluckers. So we always lob some trivia at Muse to get you set a little primer for trivia over at Pluckers. And tonight at Pluckers, it is holiday movie trivia. So we got a lot of diehard questions in there from Muse today. We'll get to those when we come back next. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time, where you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001, 752-0001. Look for the big yellow vans and trucks with the giant clock on the side. You see them all over town. Couple things I want to remind you about. Number one, preseason heater safety check. I get it. It's 80 degrees right now. You're going, Scone, why are you telling me about a heater? I get it. Last week we're in the 30s. So you're constantly jockeying back and forth, heater to AC. Make sure that Home Central heater is clean, efficient, tuned up, ready to run safely this winter. Remember, you mentioned the Moscona special. They'll knock $30 off that tune-up. It's River City's 1 Hour Air. 752-0001, 752-0001. Also, ask about the membership club. When you join the membership club, you get primary service, you get discounted rates, and your complimentary seasonal maintenance. River City's 1 Hour Air.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact Service Master Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. Service Master Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Light beer shouldn't taste like water. Miller Lite has more taste and...
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge is excited to see pro hockey coming back to the Raising Cane's River Center this winter. Tickets start at just $10 for games at Ticketmaster.com and the Raising Cane's River Center box office. Keep listening for your chance to win some from us and sign up to win at 1045ESPN.com.
You going to watch hockey?
Actually, tomorrow night I am going to watch hockey.
It's tomorrow, right?
Tomorrow night
one?
I'm going. I will be there, yes.
Who are you going with?
Brother-in-law.
Danny, you going? No? Danny's a rugby guy.
Good sport too, man.
Real sport, right, Danny? Not hockey. They wear pads in hockey, ninnies. But then again, you don't have a blade on your foot in rugby.
It's true. It's one time I took my skate off and tried to stab somebody. I'm the only guy who's ever tried to do that.
It's a good record to have.
Good record to have.
It's good to be remembered.
Yeah.
I was setting you up for that. I'm glad it was
smoked it. Hanging curveball, just gone.
Bump set spike. All right, trivia. Let's do it, Muse. Here we go. Hit me with my trivia music. All right, every Wednesday at Pluckers, it's trivia night, 7:30 at Bluebonnet, 8 o'clock at Nicholson. Live action trivia. Get your team together. Give as many players on your team as you want. If you win rounds, you get great prizes, but everybody gets to spin the prize wheel. So no matter if you win a round or not, your team's going to win something. Free food from Pluckers, gift cards, other prizes from local businesses. Trivia is a big deal in these parts. Really all around. Trivia is a big deal. All right. Muse, you weren't terrible last week.
No.
I think maybe 2 out of 3.
2 out of 3.
And the one you missed was incredible. The Ryan Reynolds, Will Ferrell
Yeah.
question.
I still haven't seen a preview for that movie either.
Danny, have you seen a preview of the Will Ferrell, Ryan Reynolds, what was it, Apple movie?
I don't even remember what it was called.
It's a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
I can't go anywhere without seeing that promo. It's amazing that I've seen that. Okay. All right, here we go. All right, Muse.
All right.
Which actress portrays Allie Henderson, girlfriend to Jonathan Taylor Thomas's character in the film I'll Be Home for Christmas?
Oh, man, we're going obscure holiday movies here. Which actress, Jonathan Taylor Thomas's love interest, Allie Henderson?
Little JTT.
We're going to go with shot out of a cannon here, Kirsten Dunst.
I think it's Kirsten, by the way, also. It's Kirsten.
Kirsten Dunst.
Kirsten Dunst or Kirsten Dunst?
I thought it was Kirsten Dunst.
What am I getting Kirsten from?
I mean, there is. I mean, people are named that. Yeah,
Is she Kirsten Dunst or Kirsten?
I thought she was Kirsten Dunst.
Did she do anything other than the cheerleader movie?
Bring It On? Hilarious movie, by the way.
Okay.
Let's see.
Your answer, by the way, was Jessica Biel. So, I mean, same sort of genre demo, right? I mean, that era of.
That's what I was trying to kind of go with. Kirsten Dunst for, or Kirsten Dunst, whichever
Danny,
one
do
it
you
is.
say Kirsten Dunst or Kirsten Dunst? What do you
says
say?
Kirsten.
Kirsten. Okay.
Maybe that's what it is.
Danny's mic doesn't work.
Yeah, she was in Jumanji, the '95.
Yeah,
Okay.
No.
Yeah, Bring It On. Spider-Man in 02.
Oh, that's the one when she kissed Tobey Maguire upside down. See, that's when I still watched movies. I knew that when I saw that one. Anything else she was in?
Spider-Man 3 in 07.
Yeah.
She's had a nice filmography.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like the Spider-Man was the big one. Okay, here we go. Hey, Muse.
Yeah.
Oh, you got another Ryan Reynolds one. Oh, God. Here we go.
Okay.
In what film does Ryan Reynolds portray a formerly overweight high school nerd who attempts to free himself from the friend zone after reconnecting with his lifelong crush and best friend while visiting his hometown for Christmas?
This is a holiday movie?
Oh, yeah. I've seen it, actually.
This is a Hallmark movie? That sounds like a Hallmark movie.
I've actually seen it.
And it's a Hallmark movie. That's the plot of every Hallmark movie.
It's the plot of basically every movie, quite honestly. But no,
Lord.
it's not.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't even have a guess on that one.
The movie's called Just Friends. Yeah. I'll give yourself a buzzer. And
that's a holiday movie?
Michael Douglas. He goes home because his uncle his grandfather who kind of raised him is Michael Douglas.
Good
Michael
actor.
Douglas has died. And so throughout the movie, Michael Douglas kind of like the ghost appears to him. Anyway, at one point in the movie when he's chasing his love interest, he pulls out this old like gold Trans Am or gold car and he plays Elvis, Burnin' Love, while he's chasing him down a hill in the snow and stuff. Yeah.
Sounds like a terrible movie.
Oh yeah, of course.
I mean, that movie sounds awful.
But it doesn't matter. Ryan Reynolds is funny, and
that's true.
Who was the chick in that? Look that up. Look up Just Friends.
What's the name of it? Just Friends?
Just Friends. I've seen the movie. I just related to you.
2005.
Who was the chick?
Anna Faris.
Anna Faris.
She's funny too. I like Anna Faris. She's good.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Give or take a year. In what year, on Christmas Eve, does It's a Wonderful Life take place? You get a grace of one year on either side. So you have to nail it within a 3-year period.
It's what year the movie set in?
Yes.
Oh, Lord. 1916. Oh, no.
They had cars in the movie, Moose.
I saw the movie one time. It's depressing. It's terrible. It's a bad movie, by the way.
There weren't horse and buggies rolling through the streets.
I saw it one time. I can only remember much about it, except it was bad.
1916.
It was in black and white. I was like,
Danny, take a guess.
See, he said 1940.
He was close. 1945 was the year.
Okay.
Danny, you get an X. Danny gets a ding.
Whoa! You said he was 5 years off. You said a year. How's that a ding?
But then he said 45. I mean, Muse.
It's a technicality.
You were a generation off.
Look,
you
man.
said 1916.
I remember like a military uniform, and I was like, okay, well, it's one of the World Wars. It was World War II. It was World War II, not World War I. Sorry.
By the way, it's Pearl Harbor Day.
It is.
I certainly in no way make it a joke of that, but it's an opportunity to thank all those who did serve. The greatest generation, man. World War II, incredible. Anytime you run across a World War II vet, man. Listen to those stories. Shout out to all the true OG, awesome people, man. Stormed the beaches at Normandy and fought in World War II. Incredible. And by the way, and also a shout out to Ryan Terrio. I would really like this if everyone would please just go flood Ryan Terrio's social media with happy birthday wishes, because he's often said this. Wait, hang on. I'm going to get back to that point in just 1 second, because I forgot I have to do the read. Mold Zero USA. Shout out to Jim Woodworth and gang at Mold Zero. Mold-0USA.com. mold-0usa.com. Oh, my goodness. I heard a story today. Someone who had mold, I'm not going to tell you who, but someone had mold in their house and had to do like $20,000 worth of demo work. Ripping things out of the wall, cutting sheetrock. No. Call Mold Zero. Mold Zero will come in with their patented non-toxic dry fog. They'll spray your home, let it dwell. It'll sit for about 45 minutes. Let the mold dissipate. Once it does, you're free to go back into a mold-free, clean-smelling home. No cutting sheetrock, no ripping things out the wall. It's Mold Zero. Mold-0usa.com. Mold-0usa.com. Servicing Greater Baton Rouge and Greater New Orleans. Mold-0usa.com. So, Mies, do you remember one of Terrio's letters? It was on one of his letters, wasn't it? Or was it just
about the birthday wishes?
Yeah. Was it a letter?
Yeah, it was a letter. No,
or
it was
was
a
it
letter.
just Kick Rocks?
It was a letter. It was fairly recent.
Yeah. And the premise is he hates when people say happy birthday on social media.
Yeah.
But more so when people go to social media to say, I'd like to thank everybody for all the birthday wishes. So if he gets like flooded, this is what I want to happen. I want him to get flooded with happy birthday wishes to see if he'll reply. Because he's not going to. He's not going to sit there and reply to everyone. If he gets hundreds of birthday wishes. So Terry, he's on Twitter at rterrio7, at rterrio7 on Twitter. Just go wish Ryan Terrio happy birthday. Or if you're not on Twitter, he's got Facebook and Instagram as well. Just go wish Terrio a happy birthday, and let's see how many of these he replies to.
You think, over under 5. I don't think he replies to hardly any of them.
Yeah, 0.
Okay, yeah.
He might reply, like, to me. Like, if a friend does it, somebody who follows it, like, he'll see it and reply. But
do one of the long ones, too. Like, come up with even if you don't, like, know him personally, just act like you do. Like, a long... Happy birthday to one of my favorite players of all time. Just put like a picture of him on there, like people do. Do one of the long ones.
I bet he just
does he crush those too?
I bet he might just go through and like hit hearts, like
you think?
The like, just heart it, just like it.
That's such a cop out.
It is a cop out.
God, that's such a
super
cop-out.
lazy, super lazy. Okay, happy birthday, Rhino. 43 years old today for Mr. The Riot, Pearl Harbor Day. Okay. And also my cousin Paul. Today is Paul's birthday as well. So shout out. Look, it's a celebratory day. Love celebrating great people in my life. Okay. We'll knock out our break. We'll come back and we'll do Otter Locks. The Otter last night gave us 3 college basketball games. The Otter was 2-1. So winning night college basketball for the Otter. We'll see what he's got for us tonight. That's coming up next. AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Insurance Network of Louisiana. 293-0450, 293-0450, or lainsurance.net. A better coverage for less money. That's Insurance Network of Louisiana. 293-0450, 293-0450, or lainsurance.net. It's easy, y'all. And listen, we're moving toward the holidays. And I know this time of year, for so many people, it is tough financially. I understand that. And not just that Christmas is expensive, but the fact that with this year and with inflation being what it is and with so many people trying to stretch their dollar to make it go further, man, Insurance Network of Louisiana might be able to help by helping you find better coverage for less money. You got to pay for insurance every month anyway. What if you're overpaying? What if you could save literally hundreds of dollars every month to find better coverage for less money? Let Insurance Network of Louisiana shop for free. 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has $11,000 off MSRP plus 2.9% for 72 months on all new 2022 Ram Black Widow trucks in stock. All new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty and free delivery. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
Time doesn't stop, and the world keeps spinning. Community, culture, and communications. The powerful circle that connects us together. We're creating the next evolution, a network built for every possibility. Moving faster than ever before. Streaming us forward into the future. And the revolution is closer than you think. RTC, ETEL, and Vision.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
All right, down the stretch we come. Final segment here on a Hump Day edition of AFR presented by Plucker's Music. I think I crossed up the plots of the movies we were talking about earlier. Just Friends I watched, and Amy Smart was the love interest in Just Friends of Ryan Reynolds. I've crossed plots.
With what?
I've seen that movie, though, for sure. But I don't remember now. I mixed up the plots of two movies that were strikingly similar in premise. I think. I'm pretty sure.
You don't sound that sure, actually.
It's been 15 years.
Okay, yeah.
17 years.
And
it was 2005.
Again, it sounds like a terrible movie, so it's probably not that memorable.
All right, I need to figure this out. I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to do some recon. We're going to report back. By the way, after I get out of here, heading over to Oliver Twist, doing scone and tea. But I guess it's just going to be scone tonight because T-Bob's still out. So just me. Muse will be hanging out there. We'll talk sports and whiskey and all that stuff. So hang out with us on scone and tea tonight, but just scone. From Oliver Twist. Okay, let's find out what we're betting on tonight. Time for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks, presented by Lofton Staffing Services. At Lofton, we put people to work. Call us today at 924-0200 or go to lofton.jobs.
So we turn to the one and only, the incomparable and incomprehensible, the Outfather himself, Jimmy Ott. Otter, how are you?
Doing good, Matt. Over here at the original Walk-On. We're celebrating the release of some new menu items over here.
Okay.
With us over here. You know, we're at City Slice, we're at Louis, we're at Mike Anderson. We're just keeping it on the Nicholson corridor.
I love it, man.
You know, the next to Burbank.
And you know what I'm celebrating? I'm celebrating Wisconsin -2.
There you go. Bang, bang.
I'm celebrating Duke -2.
Ding.
Not so much Texas blowing it and losing in overtime. That wasn't a good one. That was
had 8-point lead down the stretch. Good
the buzzer, Muse. The buzzer. Yeah, Muse. Doing a live show. Thanks. Right here. Here we are. Got it. Thank you.
We don't normally buzz Otter. We celebrate success in this segment.
Yeah, no, whenever he gets it wrong, it's a buzz. We got it. Okay. All right, so Otter, let's keep the good times rolling.
Y'all going? What y'all doing Wednesday, Tom? Oliver Twist.
Scone and T, but just Scone tonight since T is out. He's still hanging out with Quad Bob and getting life in order, man. As a dad
might
times
come
3.
Swing by after.
All right, the Otter. Let's go. Yeah, the party will start and Muse will end up hungover. Yes, he knows.
Probably factually.
Let the Otter show up and see what happens. All right, what are we looking at tonight, Otter?
All right, NBA Wednesday, and first of all, Minnesota -5 is the best number at DraftKings.
Okay.
So the T-Wolves -5. Under now, you get a little bit late to the party. A lot of firepower is out in this one. Going under Golden State and the Jazz. It was 233. It's dropped now. And I'm talking about like in the last 20 minutes. Markkanen's out. Conley Jr. is out for the Jazz. Steph is out for Golden State. Draymond and I think somebody else for the Warriors, too. So they got a lot of firepower out now. Still 230.5 is enough to go under on that one. Got that?
I got it.
And then a little funsy onesie, little money line parlay at DraftKings paying -116. Pels, Milwaukee, Toronto.
All right, Pels, Milwaukee, and Toronto money line parlay.
Out again. He had to leave after 5 minutes because he had a runny nose last night in Cleveland.
I mean, isn't it great that we can just laugh at him? It's cute. I mean, he got his little summer camp championship, and I'm sure they'll celebrate that for all times. Not that it actually matters for anything. But, they play the game, so he can keep it whatever he wants.
There's a lot of conspiracy theories, with the rats in China and things like that, who started COVID. I can make a strong argument it was the Lakers because Anthony Davis could only handle that abbreviated schedule. So that's the only way they could win.
Hey, by the way, I'm looking at the 3-pick parlay DraftKings. -116?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
Got it. Just making sure I had it right. Okay.
Pelicans catching Detroit on the back-to-back on the back end of back-to-back road games. Milwaukee's got Sacramento at home, and Toronto is playing. Well, somebody's got to wipe his nose, so LeBron took off tonight
too. They're minus. I looked at that a second ago. The money line with the Lakers tonight is like -7. Hang on.
1 minute remaining.
Minus. Damn it, where is it? Oh God, I can't find it. Oh, there it is. The Raptors are -750 on the money line tonight.
We'll put them together. We'll have a little fun.
So stupid. All right, Otter at the original walk-ons on Burbank tonight. What's the menu items?
Menu items: Angry Gator tacos.
Yeah.
Cajun Cuban po' boy.
Yeah.
I'm all over the mango tuna bowl.
Let's do it, man. Indeed. All right, Game Time with Jimmy Ott follows us in Baton Rouge. If you're not in Baton Rouge, online at 1045ESPN.com. All right, Otter, we appreciate it. Thanks, man.
Go Pels. Let's go.
Right, have a great night. We appreciate the Otter. Muse, Danny, thanks so much. Danny pulling double duty, especially appreciate it very much. Come see us at Oliver Twist. We'll see you at AFR.
AFR.
As we get on down the road, let me remind you about Michelli Weighing and Measurement. Michelli.com, Michelli.com. 29 offices across 11 different states. They are ISO 17025 accredited. They service all scale and measurement equipment makes and models. It is Michelli Weighing and Measurement. Michelli.com, Michelli.com. Always encourage you, go to the website and see all of the different services that they offer. You can request a quote. If you want, they can do on-site calibration. You can ship your equipment to Michelli, and then they can calibrate it, send it back to you. Or, for convenience, they can just swing by, pick it up, bring it back to the lab, calibrate it, return it to you. It's all about making you and your business more efficient, no matter what industry you're in. calibration or preventative maintenance, weighing systems, installation, equipment repair, inspection, certificates. They've got their track system as well. It's at Michelli Weighing and Measurement, celebrating 75 years. Learn more, Michelli.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Bayou Ford has the new inventory to get you in a new Ford truck or SUV today, or customize your next vehicle just the way you want it. All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Louisiana. It's a place defined by culture, by pride, by passion, by people who do more than love this place. They celebrate it, elevate it, champion it. They are the individuals who embody what makes Louisiana great. The companies that make Louisiana a better place to work and live. The nonprofits leading transformational change in our communities. Champions of Louisiana are all around us, and LWCC is proud to celebrate them because we've always been Louisiana loyal, supporting the work